The following is a WGN-TV sports presentation.
From Yankee Stadium in New York, WGN presents Chicago White Sox baseball. This afternoon is the White Sox versus the New York Yankees. And hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. I'm Ken Harrelson along with Tom Paciorek as the Sox get ready to take on the Bronx Bombers in the first of a three-game set. Wimpy, weather permitting. But one thing about it, the Sox with that rain out yesterday in Detroit coming in here, it looks like there's a chance we might get the game in, but it's kept the Sox pitching rotation with a big three intact.
Well, that's true. Jack McDowell and Greg Hibbert and Alex Fernandez will pitch with a regular 4 days rest, and that's the one good thing. Although Charlie Huff is going to be pushed back probably another 10 days because of some more upcoming off days.
Also, Melito Perez will be in there tomorrow, but the Sox coming in, they're still the only unbeaten team in the major leagues. And, of course, it's always nice when you walk into a new place for the first time and everybody says, well, what about those White Sox?
Aren't they something? Well, of course, the Sox have been really getting by with outstanding pitching. Just nobody's getting any runs off the Sox. And today's pitcher, Greg Hibbert, pitched shutout baseball for 8 innings. Now, Scott Sanderson, on the other hand, from the Yankees, had a great outing in his first start as a Yankee. You know, he won 17 games for the Oakland A's last year, and he was a great acquisition. He automatically becomes the Yankees' #1 starter.
Well, Scott Sanderson, really, we've got Ventura in there, and, of course, Wimpy's picked to click this afternoon, Dan Pasqua. But Sanderson is a breaking ball pitcher, and the way the Sox have been swinging the bats at this point, he could give them a whole bunch of trouble out there.
Yes, he can. He's one of those in-between guys. He doesn't throw real hard, but he can spot his curveball very well, change his speeds with that pitch. So he could be tough on Sox hitters, but the Sox really haven't been hitting, but they've been doing the proper things in the clutch.
They've been doing all the little things. They've been playing very fine defensive baseball, as we mentioned, the pitching. But the Yankees, they have a very new look this year. A young ball club. Bam Bam Meulen's out there in left field. Roberto Kelly in center field. They're going with the youngsters. This is a renovated program.
Yeah, it is. The Yankees do, on paper, look a little bit better. You know, the Sox were 10-2 against the Yankees last year, Hawk, and mainly because Don Mattingly, Roberto Kelly, and Steve Sachs hit below 200 as a group. So if you can keep those three guys down, I think you can have success against the Yankee team.
All right, first of a three-game set, weather permitting. It'll be Hibbert against Sanderson, and Wimpy will be back with the rest of the starting lineups right after this.
White Sox baseball on Channel 9. The White Sox are brought to you by America's favorite light beer, Miller Lite, proudly celebrating the sale of its 3 billionth case. The good guys at Dodge, where it's advantage Dodge. True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. Southwest Airlines, offering everyday low fares and convenient flights to both Detroit Metro and Detroit City airports. Phillips 66 high-quality super clean gasolines, keeping your car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance. Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing. The Chicago Tribune. Get in the game. Pick up a Trib. And your local Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
As the Yankees come in, Wimpy, with a record of 2-4. And, of course, the Sox, as we mentioned at the top, the only unbeaten team in the major leagues. But the Sox, like they started off in 1990 with fewer games played than any other team. The rain just seems to follow us around.
Well, you're right there, Hawk. We started off with playing a game and then having an off day in Baltimore. And then, of course, in Detroit, where it was the first time we played 2 games in succession. That was Friday and Saturday. And, of course, with the rain out yesterday, I'm sure that Sox are really anxious to get this ball game in, regardless of the conditions.
There you see the standings, and also in the East. But right now, down on the field, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He and General Schwarzkopf and Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney, and, of course, our Commander-in-Chief, President George Bush, who did such a great job in the Persian Gulf. Yes! Hey, you got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, he's got a better arm than the president.
They got President Bush with that 43-mile-an-hour curveball the other day down in Arlington. But our congratulations to General Powell on such a terrific job. He and his staff. Wow. It still gets to you and stirs you, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does. What a thrill it must be for Bob Guerin, the catcher, just to be able to receive that and, of course, meet General Powell at the same time.
As you look in the Yankee dugout. And by the way, there has been a strike here in New York. In one of the television unions, we will be taking a shared feed this afternoon. Skip Ellis, our producer director. So this will be a shared feed that we will be taking right alongside with WPIX. So we will not have our own cameras, and you might see a lot of Yankee shots today, which would not normally be our MO. We'd rather have the White Sox in there, but we have no control over that. But a look at the Yankee club, as we mentioned last year, a very disappointing season, the worst in many, many years in their franchise history. 67 and 95, Wimpy 21 games back. But Gene Michael, the new general manager, has decided that he is going to go a new way, and that is with the youth. They are taking a little page out of the White Sox book in 1990.
I think everybody's going to start and do that, Hawk, especially with the situation with trying to sign free agents, the astronomical salaries. Heck, you might as well play the young kids and go with them if, of course, they're talented. Now, they've got a couple guys in the middle of that lineup that are going to be outstanding players. We both agree on that. And I think first and foremost, you got to consider Kevin Moss, who was just so good in the last couple months of the season with that power stroke of his, and Bam Bam Mullins, the young outfielder that will be in the lineup today. Both of those guys are very, very impressive.
Well, Bam Bam is a youngster, just 23 years old, that everybody, since he was 18, he is impressed. He's a big fella. And we were watching some of the Yankee-Kansas City game yesterday, and of course Mike Boddicker made Bam Bam look a little bad, striking him out on the slow breaking stuff. But that's going to happen to a lot of young hitters. But indeed, the Yankees do have there's the sticker, Gene Michael, and I'll tell you, he's got his plan. We were talking prior to the game for about an hour. He's got his plan. He's going to stay with it. And it's not an austerity program by any stretch of the imagination here in New York, because of the fact they picked up Steve Farr.
Yep.
He was not a cheap sign. They picked up Scott Sanderson. He was not a cheap sign. So they are not looking to save money. What they're looking to do, though, is they're just looking to do the same thing as we mentioned. In fact, Stick talked about the White Sox and what an outstanding job they've done in turning the organization and the situation around there with a good, exciting young ball club and going with the youth, interspersed with the veteran, the good quality veteran, not your mediocre veteran.
No doubt about it. Of course, the Yankees are built around Don Mattingly, their all-star first baseman, and you got Steve Sachs, and they signed those guys naturally to long-term contracts. Their center fielder, Roberto Kelly, is an outstanding talent as well. So they're going to build the offense around those three guys, and when you combine, you can bring in a Mullins and a Moss to put a little power, put a little punch in there. That's a good sign right there. They still have the power element in right field with Jesse Barfield. Mel Hall will be kind of the swing man in the outfield as well. So they've got a problem left side of the infield. Nothing really stable over there, and their catching might be suspect too. And of course, you always have to fill in some holes from a pitching aspect because they were so poor in the pitching last year.
Well, we just looked at the American League West standings. Right now, let's check out the American League East standings, as the Toronto Blue Jays, that I think were a lot of people's pick in spring training. Wimpy picked them. I picked them. They are off to a 5-2 start, followed by Milwaukee. Cleveland with Albert Bell. My goodness,
boy.
A couple of home runs yesterday. And Albert, who had 11 home runs this spring, he is coming out smoking. Followed by the Tigers at 2-3, Baltimore, then the Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox, who won a game-breaking, a 4-game losing streak. Check that, they lost yesterday to Cleveland. They had a 4-game losing streak on the line, but I tell you, I think it's still going to wind up like we said in spring training, Wimpy. I think it's going to be the Blue Jays and the Red Sox fighting this thing out in September.
Yeah, the Boston Ball Club has only won 2 games, and those were the 2 games that Roger Clemens has started. So if they have gotten no pitching from the other guys, of course that offense is so potent, but they are a team that is almost incapable of manufacturing a run. And in a close ball game, you're going to win a lot more games with hit and runs and stealing situations than you are with the 3-run homer. So that's why I think I like Toronto so much more than Boston, because of the speed element.
As you can see, a rain delay here as the Sox are opening up a 3-game set. This is the home opener for the New York Yankees, in case you just tuned in. And Wimpy and I will be back with more right after this. The grounds crew have come out. They are attempting now. We are supposed to get the game in. It is a forecast that the heavy stuff was this morning, and it's supposed to be constant all afternoon with the slight mist and the drizzle. But in talking to the Yankee people, their forecast is one we definitely will get the game in. It just might take a little time, Wimpy. But getting back to the Sox, off to this 4-0 start and their young pitching, that is really has been a break in the respect that none of the top 3 starters have had to miss or have been delayed. Now, as you said, Charlie Huff is going to be set back probably anywhere from a week to 10 days. But that's Charlie's role in this ball club, and he knew it coming over here.
Yeah, and Charlie told Jeff actually before that it wouldn't be real advisable to put him in a relief job again. He was a reliever for so many years with the Dodgers, but it just takes him a little bit longer to get loose. So feeling that the starting spot is the best situation for him, he's just going to have to wait until the first opportunity. You get so many off days during the first couple weeks of the season with scheduled off days, and of course the off days where you get rainouts, and Charlie naturally was going to pitch yesterday. You're right, though. The 3 starters, the 3 main guys the Sox are really counting on this year. Of course, Jack McDowell with those 2 great ball games that he pitched. Hibbert was outstanding, going 8 innings against the Orioles, and of course Alex Fernandez. These are the guys, those 3 guys right now are your 3 studs, and you're just going to have to accommodate them.
And Melito Perez, as we mentioned, he will be making the start tomorrow in the second of this 3-game set against Dave Island. But once again, let's check the American League West standings. There you see Oakland. They were trailing Seattle last evening, as some of you may have watched. They were trailing that ball game 5-0, and for some reason, Wimpy, you never got the feeling they were out of it.
The Oakland A's are never out of the ball game.
You just got the feeling there, you know, even with Eric Hansen on the mound for the Mariners, who has had such an outstanding couple of games against the Oakland A's in the past, you still just knew, and he made some bad pitches, and the A's took advantage of it.
Boy, did he ever. It was in the 3rd inning. He just dominated them for 2, and then he tried to get cute and start off the hitters with the curveball instead of the fastball, got behind them, and so then he had to come into their strength, and he started walking some people. And of Oakland, they take advantage of opportunities, and they are a team that you can definitely pitch to, but you have to get ahead of them in the count. You can throw that high fastball by the Oakland hitters all day long, and he's capable of doing it, but he tried to trick them.
Wimpy, we talked in spring training. We gave our predictions. We both picked the Sox. I picked Kansas City second. I believe you picked Oakland second.
Right.
I don't think that we picked California up in there, but is there anything that's happened since we did make our predictions in spring training that's changed your mind any?
Yeah, I like California now. I'll tell you what. Well, Dave Winfield is just off to a great start. He looks like the Dave Winfield of maybe 10 years ago, and that's going to cause a lot of problems for everybody in the American League in general. Dave Parker, of course, brought his leadership over to that club as well. So you got 2 future Hall of Famers in the middle of the lineup, and naturally they're going to be a potent part of that team. Now, if they can continue that on a 162-game basis, then you have to take your hat off to them. But I don't know. I'm still not a real California fan, and I just think that they're not going to be able to do the little things necessary to win big ball games.
I agree with you. I do think, though, that California, because of the very evident outburst off the big bat of Dave Winfield with those 3 homers the other day in Minnesota and knocking in some runs. Also with the acquisition of Dave Parker, they've caused a stir and they've gotten off to the good start. But I don't think that they have the makeup. Of course, if there's one person that can turn it around over there and get them on the right track, it would be, you know, Doug Rader. The Rooster's a very misunderstood person to a lot of people in baseball. He's a very, very intelligent person. He's just not a guy who's a big tough guy. He's very sensitive. And that's the one thing from a Sox standpoint that scares me, is because of the fact that you give Doug Rader some good talent. This is really the most talent he has ever had since he's been a manager, you know, and he started out in the National League, came over to the American League, but he has never had a club that had a lot of talent. Now he does have some talent out there. So the thing that I really wanted, as we discussed in spring training, I think that if we can look back at the end of the season and see where the American League West has been a very balanced division, I think the White Sox have an excellent chance of winning it.
No doubt about it, yeah.
I think that on the other hand, that if we look back at the end of the season and see where one club has dominated the division, then Oakland is going to be the club to beat. Although Kansas City, I think with the balance, everybody, you don't want to see Seattle playing as poorly as they are. You know, we can't have the Sox, we can't have Oakland beating up on the American League West clubs, you know, 10-3, 9-4 season series edges.
Yeah, that's very true. And of course, you got Kansas City now is going to be a lot tougher. They've added Mike Boddicker, and excuse me, Kirk Gibson is going to give that other added factor, much like a Dave Winfield and Dave Parker is going to give for California. That attitude, that winning attitude that he supplied naturally when he came over to the Dodgers, and who was most valuable player in the National League his first year over there. So Gibson will definitely be a factor. He'll give somebody to deal with. George Brett should get more good pitches to hit this year with Kirk Gibson hitting behind him, and I think that is going to be as important to the Kansas City team as any other factor, because if George gets good pitches to hit, he's going to nail them.
You know, in talking to some of the Yankee people this morning, they've seen a couple of the Sox games on TV. That's getting to be a regular occurrence now with all the scouting. A lot of clubs are doing a lot of scouting via television. They're able to, with a bird, you know, a satellite, they can tune into any game that's being televised, and a lot of them will do that, and they will scout a team. But they're saying, well, how about the Sox offense? We know you've got good pitching, but how about the offense? That's the key question that everybody's asking. You know, like the game in Detroit when they won 4-1, they didn't hit any balls hard. I told them, I said, that's just the way they play. They get the good pitching, they do the little things. They're a very aggressive team on the base paths. They don't miss many opportunities. Jeff Torborg, when he gets one, will take advantage of it. And I said, you're going to see that probably all season long.
No doubt about it. You go back to that Detroit series. You're right. There wasn't a ball hit hard, and really in the last two games that we won both by 4-1. The key right there is the pitcher is keeping us in these ball games and giving us a chance to win at the end of the ball game. And the Sox have been able to manufacture runs late to win a lot of ball games. You look at the clutch hitting, though, Hawk. We're hitting only .233 as a team, but 12 of the 19 runs that we have scored have come with 2 outs. And so that is the, you know, it's not what you hit, is when you hit it, is what we're talking about right now from a White Sox standpoint. And I think that mental toughness that Walt Riniak gives these guys to focus on every at-bat. Don't ever give up. Keep fighting, and good things will happen to you if you do those things.
Well, Walter Riniak, we were talking yesterday on the plane coming in from Tiger Stadium. As you see, we're watching the grounds crew now. The rain's starting to come down harder, so they might be putting the tarp back on. And it's something we're just going to have to live with. Come on over here a little bit, Wimp. It's something we're just going to have to live with this afternoon. But as I said, they think they'll get the ball game in. But, you know, let's go back to 1990. And the most attractive thing about the White Sox was what? Their attitude, their hustle, their desire. It was a great pleasure for me over the winter when people were saying, well, how'd that ball club win 94 ball games? And I told them, I said, you know, there's a club that busted their behinds 150 times. Now, the only time they didn't was the 12 times. They were just flat out of gas.
Yeah, that's really the truth. You know, when you look at the Sox on paper, especially last year, of course, they're more formidable this year on paper. But you looked at them last year, and we just didn't match up to the opposition on most occasions. But that really didn't have anything to do with the outcome. We all started out 0-0, and it just was a matter of busting their fannies like they did all year long. They did the little things to win. They played excellent defense when they had to. Of course, the team made some errors, but they never seemed to come at critical times during the ball game. Sox played 83 games that were decided by 2 runs or less, and had that mental toughness to win those close ball games. So you take your hat off to Jeff Torborg and the coaching staff for preparing these guys. I think one of the really interesting things about the Sox is that they have a meeting before every game. Now, how many times when you were a player did you like to have a meeting? You couldn't stand it.
Couldn't stand it, no.
But these guys, it's important for the Sox players to have these meetings, because Walter in the Heaters meetings will tell them how to approach this particular pitcher, what he has, what he's going to do in certain situations. And it just kind of wakes you up mentally to go out there and focus for an entire 9 innings of baseball.
Well, as much as it's waking you up mentally, what it does is it keeps you also from falling into a little mental slump or a mental complacency, so to speak. And as I mentioned, Walter and I had a long discussion yesterday, and what we're going to try to do for you this season is we don't have all the dynamics of it worked out yet, but Walter, I asked him that when Wimpy and I played, when we first came into baseball, baseball was a little bit a different animal. It was one in which there were certain things that were etched in stone, so to speak. There were cardinal rules. With the transition of the game of baseball the way it is today, as opposed to, you know, back in the 70s, even as much as 5 or 6 years ago, Wimpy, and that's because of the turnover, so to speak, and now you're going to have expansion coming. The game is different today, and that's what Waller and I were discussing. When we came in, there was not that much use of the video equipment, so to speak. There was very limited. In fact, I didn't even like to see myself on tape because I didn't like my swing, you know.
Yeah.
But today, these guys are using this video equipment to such detail. A lot of the things that we believe to be true when we came into baseball are no longer true. Is, for an example, I was with an organization, was a top-sided, right-hand, top-sided, dominant organization, the Boston Red Sox. The key word there was top hand, top hand. That was a key phrase. Well, in the last 10 years, we found out that the top hand really is a killer. It's a killer. I mean, what we're going to try to do is, once we get the dynamics worked up on it, we're going to try to freeze frame some during the ball game itself and show you just what hitters are doing at the plate with that top hand, where if you're right-handed hitters, your right hand, left-handed, left hand. Also, what we're going to try to do this season is we're going to go over individual hitters on the Sox and try to give you the order of progression that Waller is trying to bring these individuals along so that the collective effort will be, as you say, last year the Sox had 8 players with 50 or more RBIs. Nobody had a career year offensively, not even close. The only players we've mentioned many times that had a career year was Bobby Thigpen. So that in itself, all the players on the Sox will tell you that in itself is a good sign for 1991.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I think that the team is so well prepared. I think that's one of the real big things that the coaching staff, especially Jeff, they oversee everything that the guys do. And, you know, they're not treating them like kids or anything, but it's a matter of the focus element. They go over every minor detail, and you talk about the scouting reports and using all that the equipment that's available. That's how the Sox come up with the defensive structure that they use against
our nickel defense.
Nickel defense, and you can't believe it. 8 guys are piled in one corner, and he hits it right in that area. You got the whole field to hit to, and why does that happen? And that just goes to a great deal of preparation by everybody in the organization.
Well, you know what's interesting in listening to Waller, because, you know, when Charlie Lau was really the innovator of the new era, so to speak, of hitting, quote hitting in style. And when Charlie came in, he had some real good success with some individual players, you know, George Brett namely. Of course, a lot of people, you can counter that point by saying, well, George Brett was going to be a good hitter regardless. But meanwhile, Charlie did help a lot of guys. Then it became, as you know, Wimpy, it became fashionable to knock Charlie Lau and his methods and his theories. As when Waller came in after Charlie's death, Waller came in as the prominent hitting instructor in baseball, and it was prominent to knock Waller. It was fashionable, so to speak, to knock him because of the fact that you saw some funny-looking swings with the helicopter action, you know, the top, the hand releasing and the lead hand swinging the bat through. Well, as it turned out, which we will be doing, checking some of those films, a lot of guys in the past did that. You know, you think back on a Willie Mays, think back on a Frank Howard who let that, you know, the lead hand take the swing through. So it's a situation that we're going to try to get to because of the constant evolution of changes in baseball, and we're going to stay on top of that. And because the White Sox really are not going to hit many home runs this year, we don't have that type of ball club. So it's going to have to be a collective effort once again, where everybody's going to. Lance Johnson, perfect example. Here's a guy, you put him in a big situation, and we've seen him so many times already this year. He delivers.
Oh yeah, well you always go back to that 6th inning in Baltimore in Game 1. It's a 3-1 ball game, and the Baltimore team was certainly in the game, although Jack McDowell was just great. But first 2 guys were out, and the worst thing that could have happened to that Baltimore pitcher, because the next 6-7 guys reached base, 6 of them with hits, and they were all hits either up the middle or to the opposite field, which shows you that the great concentration that these guys have, and just putting their effort focused in the one area that Walter is really dealing with. He wants the guys to try and hit a line drive right at the pitcher's head and play off of that. Now, if you're fooled by it, if you're a little bit out in front, you will pull the ball, but your head will go down on contact, and that's a key. You'll accidentally pull the ball, but for the most part, you're really trying to hit the ball into the gaps.
Well, those 6 hits in that big inning in the 6th inning in Baltimore, only one was hit to pull. That was Robin Ventura, pull one in the right field. The rest of them were by the right-handed hitters going up the middle into the opposite field. They have taken the tarp off here at Yankee Stadium. The players are out getting loose. Hopefully the pitchers, Hibbert is warming up. Sanderson, I believe, has concluded his warm-up. So we will get back to Yankee Stadium, hopefully with the ball game, right after this.
We're back in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. The umpires are out on the field. They're meeting now with El Capitan, Ozzie Guillen, and Carl Merrill. Why do they call him Stump anyway?
Wimpy, don't ask me that. I don't get in the shower with him.
Well, he's out there anyway. And with no further ado, let's look at this afternoon's starting lineups for today's ball game. The White Sox 4-0. This is Jeff Torborg's lineup for today's game. Leading off in left field, Tim "The Rock" Raines. Batting second and center, Lance Johnson. Robin Ventura will play third base and hit third. Big Frank Thomas is the cleanup man. He's at first base. Carlton Fisk catches, hitting fifth. He's followed by the DH Danny Pasqua. The Panther Sammy Sosa is in right field, batting seventh, hitting eighth at shortstop, Ozzie Guillen, and the ninth place hitter at second, Scotty Fletcher. Defensively, when they take the field, the Yankees will line up this way. Hensley "Bam Bam" Mullins will be in left field. Roberto Kelly in center. Jesse Barfield is the right fielder. Around the horn, it's Randy Velarde. They had to write a song about him. He'll play third base. Alvaro Espinoza is the shortstop. Steve Sachs at second, and the great Don Mattingly will play first base. Battery this afternoon, right-handers Scott Sanderson and Bob Guerin. Yankee Stadium looks like it's in great condition. Field looks as good as ever, Hawk. One thing about this place, the infield to me was never a real good infield. The dirt part had a lot of bumps in there, and you can get a lot of bad hops.
Especially with some of those thumpers they had. You're playing first
Lord.
base, and all of a sudden you come up there as the Yankees take the field for their home opener of 1991. No, but I agree, Wimpy. This was a very, very tough place to play first base with those clumps that they would have out there. But indeed, it looks like it's in great shape. As you see the verticutting in the outfield and infield of the grass.
It's a good hitter's ballpark, too.
Well, since they've cut it down, it used to be Death Valley in left center, center, and right center. Now they have brought the fences in. As you look at the 34-year-old veteran right-hander Scott Sanderson, 6'5", 200 pounds, a 17-game winner last year with the Oakland A's, and in his debut this season against the Detroit Tigers, had a no-hitter through 8 innings. Tony Phillips broke it up with a double in the ninth, and then they took Scott out of there. But we understand he threw about 120 pitches in that ball game.
Yeah, and he used mostly fastballs, too. He has been a breaking ball pitcher his entire career, but it was a real cold day. You remember that was the same day that Hibbert pitched in Baltimore, so it was very cold in Detroit. You can see the first no-hitter for the Yankees since June 4th. That was Joe Niekro and Al Holland combined for that one. So actually, they said that Scott could have had a no-hitter that day, but the fly ball that Tony Phillips hit was windblown, and Barfield couldn't catch up with it. We saw that game as we were in Baltimore, but he threw mostly fastballs. It was tough to get a good grip on his curve, so he threw fastballs just a little bit out of the zone, a lot of high fastballs, and I'm sure that his fastball, when you clock it, probably not much more than major league average, about 84, 85 miles an hour. But when you spot it, you can be very successful. In the spring, he was 0-2. Well, he stunk up the joint. He was 0-2. 8-1-4 shows you how important spring training was in 5 ball games. Come out with a one-hitter in your first start. Actually, in 1990, he won 17 games for that Oakland ball club. 17-10 with a 3.88 earned run average, working 206 innings. 205 hits given up, had good control with 66 walks, walking 128. But he did not pitch well against the Sox. 1-2 last year with a 5.12 earned run average. So that's a good sign for Chicago hitters as we look at Commissioner Fay Vincent on hand for today's ball game.
Well, it's ironic because I was just thinking while you were talking about Scott Sanderson, you know, regardless if you liked him or you didn't like him, I miss George Steinbrenner. I think he was good for the game. I think that George, in my opinion, and I've talked to a lot of my friends in baseball, and they feel the same way. They feel like that the punishment did not fit the crime. And I tell you, I hope that George can come back into baseball. He did a lot for, as I said, did a lot of things that a lot of people didn't agree with. Meanwhile, he wanted this ball club to win, and he brought the Yankees, really, when he took them over from CBS back in the 70s, back into prominence.
He sure did. He brought them all the way back. As we look at the umpiring crew, Dale Scott at home plate, Jim Evans at first, Dan Morrison is at second base, and Tim Welke will be at third. I agree with you 100% of what you said about George Steinbrenner. I think he was great for the game. He spent a lot of money, and you know, the Yankee players really don't have a whole lot to complain about. They are always paid top dollar. Sure, there's a little bit more pressure playing in this city, but heck, you got to love it. Putting on those pinstripe is a special thrill for most guys. I think most kids just dream of the day that they can do that.
All right, so Sanderson has concluded his warm-up tosses, as it'll be Raines, Johnson, and Ventura. Sox last year in 12 meetings against the Bronx Bombers held a very commanding 10-2 season edge. Now gate evidently is open out in the bullpen area in left center field. Hensley Mullins will close it. Here's Bam Bam. At Yankee Stadium, 318 down the left field line. As you see, 399 in the deep power alley in left center, 408 straightaway center field, 385 in the power alley in right, and 314 down the right field line. Here's Raines, 3 for 18 on the year. Couple of RBIs, but he's starting to swing the bat a little bit better, Wimpy.
Yeah, every game.
Pitch off the plate in the count. 1-0, the ball game underway. Upstairs, 2-0 the count. Velarde at the cut of the grass at third. Mattingly halfway at first. Outfield bunched straight away. That shot in the right. Jesse Barfield almost slipped, makes the catch, and Raines hammered it right to the right fielder.
Well, you said it, Hawk. Every game he's getting a little bit better. Now, this ball could have easily been an opening double or possible triple, because he hammered this one, but bad luck once again prevailed as Barfield standing right there. And you said it's a little slippery out in the outfield. Could be treacherous.
Here's Lance Johnson. Lance 2 for 13 on the year. He's a 205 lifetime hitter against Yankee pitching. And once again, we are taking a shared feed this afternoon. This is not our feed. Oh, and 1 the count to Lance. Outfield playing Johnson the same way they played Raines. And a count very quickly, 0-2. Right side. Sachs not in time. First base umpire Jim Evans right on top of it. So that'll be an infield hit by the hustling Lance Johnson.
Oh, that's great hustle right there. Boy, Lance was getting it right out of the batter's box, because he's out if he doesn't. Saxey looked like he was kind of spinning his wheels a little bit right here. Mattingly late getting over. As you can see, he beats the throw. Tagging the front of the base.
Well, as you say, right from the get-go, Johnson was hustling, and you saw Don right there. He broke to try to get over there. He was going to make the play, and then just couldn't get back in time.
Yeah. Saxey had to hold up just temporarily, and that was enough for Lance to get in there.
Here's Ventura, 3 for 11 on the year. He's had good success against Yankee pitching in his career, 389. Bob Guerin behind the plate, has a strong throwing arm, but unless Anderson has changed, he takes a while unloading. Lance 2 for 2 in stolen bases so far. He's on point.
How about the infield conditions right now, Hawk? Is it too muddy out there to get a good jump and steal bases? You play conservatively today?
I wouldn't play conservative.
No way.
That's not our club's action.
Yeah.
Lance on point once again. Pretty good lead. He does not go. There's the strike. And the count 0-1. See what Guerin wants, if he wants to pitch out. Or just a throw over the first. Outfield straight away for Ventura. Velarde back way off the line at third base. Off the plate, and the count evens at 1. A ball, a strike, and out. As you look at Walt Reniak.
You know, on a day like today, I really like having Walt on our side because he won't let these guys let up on a bad conditions that we're playing under today. The rain, the wet field and stuff. He'll make those guys focus on every at bat.
He's relentless.
Yeah.
I say that complimentary. In fact, I don't know anybody on that bench over there in a gray uniform this afternoon or any day for that who's more into that ball game than Walter. Now the outfield spreads out a little bit as the count moves to 1-2. Ventura checking over with Reniak. Walter trying to give him a couple of encouraging words. Rain starting to come down just a little bit harder. Sanderson, who has had back surgery in the past. I talked to some Yankee people this morning. They say his back still, even though it's better, could be a problem.
He had 34 starts last year with Oakland. He didn't miss any. So.
Oh, he did a wonderful job for the A's.
Yeah. Well, he was their 4th starter behind Stuart Welsh and Mike Moore. Now, of course, he's the #1 guy here in New York.
A little bigger lead by Lance at first.
He gave that pitch out away.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. If you just joined us, top of the first inning. Now the outfield swung over to the left. Yankee outfield moving with the count. Something we have not seen too much of in the past.
No. Shows these guys might be doing a little homework. Yeah, those are the guys you really like to watch. Naturally, with 2 strikes, a tendency for the hitters to hit to the off field. And if you move a couple steps over there, that's really the proper way of defensing. If you're heading the count, you might want to roll to the pull field a little bit more.
Big Frank Howard and Stump Merrill in the middle. Once again, the 2-2 count. High into right field. Barfield goes back on the track right in front of the fence. It's out of here. You can put it on the board. A towering fly ball by Robin Ventura. Sox lead at 2-0. Yes.
We take that one. Well, that might be the only ballpark where that would be a home run here at Yankee Stadium. Sanderson tried to come inside with the fastball, and Robin just got his hands in there quick enough. As Hawk mentioned, it was a towering fly ball and it was perfect placement. No play for Barfield. Oh, about 318 feet. We take that one.
Yes. Here's Big Frank. 2 for 14 on the season, a couple of ribbies. There's the breaking ball strike.
See Guerin sitting inside, and there's the pitch. Right where he wanted it, but Robin was real quick, and it was amazing. He used a little bit of an inside-out thing to keep that ball fair. Good job of hitting. 2-zip.
Breaking ball away, and a count 1-1. I didn't think the ball had a prayer getting out of here. You did.
Yeah. He just got it. He got the head of the bat to the ball, though.
Oh, he got it on the sweet meat.
Now at Comiskey Park, now you guys coming in to make that play. You got to know which ballpark to hit those fly balls in.
Inside, 2 balls and a strike. As we mentioned, Sanderson, a definite breaking ball pitcher. But against the Tigers in his debut of '91, pitched that one hitter, featured mostly fastballs. 2-2. Ventura burned him right there on the fastball. He just didn't get it in enough.
Yeah.
That fastball hit high into center field. Another towering fly ball. Roberto Kelly. 2 gone.
Big Frank just missed that one. Just a little bit out of his joy spot. Well, Robin Ventura now has got his career batting average up over 400 against the Yankees. Second home run against New York. Now he has 8 career RBIs.
See Kelly fighting those raindrops. So with 2 gone, here's Carlton Fisk. Pudge 5 for 14 on the season. No homers, 3 ribbies. Lifetime against the Yankees has 30 homers and 108 RBIs. Got the head out on that one. Took that fastball way back in the upper deck.
Well, your pick to click really jumped out ahead today, didn't he, Robin?
Well, you had Pasqua and I had Ventura.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's really coming down now. You need windshield wipers up there to hit.
Oh, and 1 the count to Pudge. Breaking ball misses, and it's 1-1. Outfield straightaway bunch just a bit. One and 2 the count. First of a 3-game set here at Yankee Stadium. If indeed Mother Nature will allow the 2 clubs to get this game in. One thing about it, though, Wimpy, once you start it, that's the toughest part, is just getting the game started.
Yeah, they'll generally try and finish those darn things unless this really comes down. Look out.
They're into the inside as Pudge checks it off.
Well, Sanderson's the kind of pitcher who's going to have to establish his fastball inside. That'll make his breaking ball away so much more effective. He's going to have to throw inside to both lefties and right-handers.
Especially the right-handers.
Yeah.
Aaron looks like he wants it once again in there.
Oh, yeah.
A shot into left field. That's going to be trouble. Mullins will not get to it. 1 hop off the fence as Carlton rounds first base. He will move into second. That's Pudge's first extra base hit of '91.
Boy, he hammered that one. That was a bullet, like a 2-iron going out there. Not enough altitude, or that would have been out of here for a homer. He tried to come inside with the fastball, but he missed. He missed this one severely. Look where it is, down and out over the plate, right in Pudge's joy spot. Watch the swing. Look at it. Well, inner half, and that is do not disturb on Carlton Fisk. So here's Pasqua.
Here's Wimpy's pick to click today. Danny 0 for 3 on the year. He's hurt his mates, though, since coming to the Sox. Against Yankee pitching, hitting at .338, 3 homers, and 13 ribbies. Oh, and 1 the count with Sammy Sosa on deck. Outfield swung well around to the right. Took something off the curveball, drops it over, and the count 0-2. Guerin way outside the strike zone. Trying to steal a pitch right there from home plate umpire Dale Scott. Breaking ball and the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the first. Well, Carlton put the hammer down on that one, Whipperoo.
Ooh, boy. Love to see that, too. He got the head of the bat out on every swing he took in that at bat, and that's important for Carlton Fisk.
I love it when Pudge is going out and hooking it.
Yeah, me too.
He's aggressive then.
From the shortstop over to the third base line. Oh.
Curveball in and over. Call strike 3. That'll do it for the Sox, but not before they come up with 2 runs. Robin Ventura's 2-run homer is first of the season, and after a half inning of play, it's the Sox 2 and the Yankees coming up.
Bottom of the first inning here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The Sox 2 runs on 3 hits, and the Yankees will get their first look at Greg Hibbert. But let's take a look at the Yankees lineup given by Stump Merrill. We're going to figure out why they call him that in just a second. Leading off at second, Steve Sachs. Don Mattingly bats second at first base. Hitting third in center field, Roberto Kelly. Cleanup man is outstanding prospect, left-handed hitter Kevin Moss. Hensley Bam Bam Mullins is the left fielder, hitting fifth. He's followed by right fielder Jesse Barfield. Randy Velarde gets the start at third base. He'll bat seventh. Bob Guerin is the catcher, hitting eighth. And the ninth place hitter at shortstop, Alvaro Espinoza. The little bulldog, Greg Hibbert, will be the pitcher, battery mate with Carlton Fisk. And defensively, the Sox have Raines, Johnson, and Sosa in the outfield. Around the horn, it's Ventura, Guillen, Fletcher, and Thomas. Hibbert and Fisk, the battery. Hibby coming off an outstanding 1990, 14-9, 318 earned run average, and he is 2-0 in his career against the Yankees with a fine 2.7 earned run average.
There you see what he did his last start. His first start of the season against Baltimore, he was just superb. And that was a very, as you would suspect, gutsy performance from Greg Hibbert. It'll be Sachs, Mattingly, and Kelly. Sachs, 31-year-old second baseman, hitting .296 on the season. No homers. He's knocked in 3. Ventura and on the grass at third as he fakes a bunt, takes the ball. Outfield swung around to the right. Big Frank halfway at first. Fastball strike, and the count evens at 1. Yankees coming in hitting .267 as a club. They have hit 4 home runs. That's low, and the count 2-1. Ventura backs up a step. He's even with a bag. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, it was good to see before the game. Tom Seaver, Bobby Mercer, Tony Kubek, announcers for the Yankees. Also the Scooter.
Oh, yeah. It's great to see the Scooter. So nice to see that he's back working with the Yankees. We thought he retired last year.
Scooter's a piece of work. He's terrific. Here's a 2-2 delivery. Second base. Scotty will suck it up, throw him out, one gone. That'll bring up the first baseman, soon to be 30 years old in 5 days, Don Mattingly. Don hitting .333 on the season with 1 double. He has yet to knock in a run. Of course, against the Sox, he has done some severe damage. Big time. .345 lifetime, 20 homers, and 59 RBIs. Outfield bunch straight away. That's going to be going foul into the seats, and the count evens at 1.
Well, Mattingly's got all those impressive numbers against the Sox, Hawk, but last year hit only .191 with just 1 RBI and 47 at bats. It's easy to see now why we dominated those guys 10-2.
But you said it up front, Wimpy. When you hold down Mattingly and Sachs and those guys, you're going to beat the ball club last year.
Yeah.
Of course, Mattingly with a bad back problem. He's one of the real assets of this game.
Yeah.
There's a fastball strike, and the count evens at 2. You know, you're talking about assets to the game, guys like Carlton Fisk, George Brett, Don Mattingly. Wow. Real professionals. 2-2 delivery. Right now, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Along with Tom Paciorek, this is Ken Harrelson from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. First of a 3-game set as you look at Moss, the on-deck hitter, down in the dugout. That's into center field. Lance, 2 gone.
Now Mattingly, as usual, hit the ball hard. We'll talk about his little change in stance the next time he comes around, but he has changed considerably. Looks a lot more like Rod Carew up there than the Don Mattingly that we've seen in the past.
Here's Roberto Kelly. As I mentioned, Mossy on deck. He was in the hole. Kelly, just 26 years old, 4 for 24 on the season. A homer, 6 RBIs, had 5 in 1 game against the Tigers the other day. That was a career high for him. Takes a curveball, and the count 1-0. Outfield swung around to the left. A ball and a strike. Change misses. I want to send out a big White Sox hello to a big Sox fan down in Orlando, Sam Srinivasan.
Sam who?
Big White Sox fan.
It's easy for you to say.
2-2 the count. Kelly out of Panama. Fastball misses, and it's 3-2. And you see the water on top of the dugout. The Yankees dugout. High in the left field. It's playable. Raines makes the catch. That'll retire the side. So Hibbert, a 1-2-3 inning, and after 1, first of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium. Sox lead it 2-0. That's the story, top of the 2nd inning. And a reminder that, kids, you can be a part of the White Sox with a membership to the Silver and Black Pack for only $15. That membership includes 6 coupons for 6 designated games. Also, an official membership card, free Cokes at White Castle, a certificate, a T-shirt, and fun stickers. You can pick up your Silver and Black Pack membership at your nearest White Castle restaurant. That's a good deal.
The best.
It'll be Sosa, Ozzie, and Fletcher here in the top of the second inning, as the Sox on Robin Ventura's first homer of the year. High towering drive that, well, it counts.
Darn right it counts. Any other ballpark? Well, maybe it might have curled in there in Fenway Park, but in that real short area in right field. No?
No.
All right, this is the only place in the world that would have been a home run, including most Pony League fields, but it still counts. That's only the third home run by a Sox hitter this season, and the man hitting right now has the other two, Sammy Sosa.
Sammy 4 for 14, a couple of homers, 5 ribbies. Outfield bunched a bit straight away. Velarde even with a bag at third. Mattingly in a couple of steps at first. Breaking ball strike. Tomorrow it'll be Melito Perez on the hill for the Sox. I'll have that game for you right here on WGN as well. He'll be opposed by the right-hander Dave Island. Now Velarde backs up a few steps. Uncle Charlie. And a count 1-2.
He's got a good hook. That's his bread and butter pitch. Made him a good major league pitcher for so many years. He's got 12 years in the big leagues, but he allowed 24 first inning runs and 34 starts last year. So he's one of those guys that really has to establish both his fastball and curveball early.
That breaking ball beaten foul down to Terry Bevington. Count remains 1-2. As we mentioned, Sox 10-2 last year against the Bronx Bombers. They won 4 in a row right here at Yankee Stadium. The last 4 they played here. I guess they're going to let Sammy see if he can hit that curveball. Just outside, says Dale Scott.
That's why it's so important for these right-handed Sox hitters to try and hit Sanderson up the middle the opposite way. You're going to still pull this curveball a little bit outside, but at least your head will stay in there, and everything else give yourself a better chance to hit. Inside fastball, yes.
He did not. He didn't go. But Jim Evans, the crew chief at first, said he did. Wrong.
Well, Sammy's leading out over the plate, trying to protect the outside corner. And then he comes inside with the fastball. Did he?
That always looks like he'd go
Yeah.
on the instant replay. He didn't go.
And
So
they
here's the
always call
shortstop.
it.
Yeah.
They call it 90% of the time anytime you appeal.
Ozzie 2 for 14 against the Yankees career-wise, a .284 hitter. That's into left center field. Roberto Kelly. Well, that
Wow.
ball's carrying well today
Yes,
with all
sir.
this heavy air. With 2 quick out, Scotty Fletcher steps in.
Well, there's so much room out there in left field and left center field. So you get 3-2 on a hitter, especially with nobody on. Just throw it in there, see how far they can hit it in that area. More than likely, you'll get the out. That's what Hibbert did to Roberto Kelly last inning. Gave it a pretty good ride and ended the inning.
Scooter's had good success against the Yankees throughout his career. .347 hitter. Also knocked in 34 runs, which is a lot for him.
That is a lot in 88 ball games.
Scotty takes a fastball and the count 1-0.
Scotty had a .300 career batting average against Detroit.
Outfield swung around to the right. There's
Yeah.
a shot right back through the middle. He scorched it.
Well, from a contact standpoint, Scotty Fletcher's been the most consistent Sox hitter. Hitting just .250 coming in, but he's lined out an awful lot.
He hit the balls hard 7 out of 8 times in Baltimore.
Left fielder, Rock Raines.
So with 2 out, that'll bring up Rock Raines. Raines lined out hard to Barfield, leading off the ball game.
Well, Fletcher's really been driving the ball hard up the middle and the opposite field. You know, even with power, Hawk, he's getting a lot of distance, a lot of carry. And that's good for him. You don't want to see him try and pull the ball.
Short lead by Scooter at first. Ball 1. They're into the 11th inning at Fenway Park. No score. The Tribe and the Red Sox.
Whoa.
Later on tonight, Oakland will take on the Angels at the Big A. There's a preview of a little competition in the American League West.
Yep, hopefully those guys will be fighting it out for second place.
I agree. 2-0 the count to Raines. Although I will say one thing, I don't like what I saw of the Oakland club last night. They were down 5-0, as we mentioned. You never got the feeling they were out of it, and La Russa had them running, the hit and run. That was impressive.
And Dave Henderson always gets big hits for that team. He picks up that club.
3-0 the count with Lance Johnson on deck.
It seems like every time that team needs a hit, it's Henderson that delivers a big one.
Hindu's a good player.
Oh, yeah. Now, even more so, he gets those big hits much more so than, say, a Canseco. Of course, McGuire got the big hit, yes, in the last inning. Line drive hit off Mike Jackson.
Just catches the outside corner in the count 3-1.
Well, a lot of young pitchers on that Oakland staff this year.
Dressendorfer. We got Slosarski. The kid that came in last night looked like he had a pretty good arm.
Yeah. Good breaking ball from Stanford. Teammate of Jack McDowell's in college.
From Stanford too?
Yeah.
Wow. Up high, ball 4. So with 2 out, that'll put Fletcher at second. Raines at first. First walk issued by Sanderson. And here comes Lance. Lance just flat hustled out an infield single last inning.
Lance Johnson.
And scored ahead of Ventura's 2-run homer.
Here we go. Da, 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 da. 2 out, nobody on. Let's mount that charge. And of course, Lance Johnson's best hitter in the world with 2 outs and runners on base.
Takes the strike.
Lance last year with 51 RBIs, 24 of them coming with 2 out.
Outfield swung around to the left. A lot of room between Barfield and that right field line. Curveball low and inside. He go wear his kneecaps out trying to get back.
That's why they call him the Scooter Boy.
He looked like Rick Dempsey in that thing a long time ago on that tarp.
Watch this.
Watch
Look at
this.
Like a bug scurrying back to its hole.
What it wasn't to count. That's back out of play, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes.
I think Scooter's got to get a little bit more intense out there.
Yeah, we got to dial him
around
up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, Lance. This is your spot. 1.
I'm sure somebody will have a real good impression of that tomorrow in the clubhouse. Oh, boy.
Curveball drops it in an overcall, strike 3. There's Sanderson. Bread and butter pitch. That'll do it. Nothing across. There was a hit, no errors. 2 men left after an inning and a half. Sox lead it 2-0. Little Bulldog Greg Hibbert. Southpaw taking his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And a reminder, don't miss the first night game ever at the new Comiskey Park on Monday, April 22nd at 7:05 p.m. when the Sox host the Baltimore Orioles. Following the game, you can enjoy a spectacular laser and fireworks show courtesy of True Value Hardware as part of opening week. So for tickets, just dial Ticketmaster at 1-312 8-3-1 Sox. Robin Ventura's first homer of the year in the first inning. As you look at the Yankee bench, Andy Hawkins, the second on the left right there. And of course, the author of last year's no-hitter against the Sox. And it was a laugher.
How'd he turn
We
out?
won it 4-0.
Piece of cake. Earth, wind, and fire. Remember it? The bad ground ball, then the fly ball lost in the sun, and the wind took another ball. So
Alvaro Espinosa. And once again, we are taking a shared feed as they have had a strike here in New York. One of the unions robbing.
it's hard to believe, isn't it, that a union in New York would strike?
So we are taking a shared feed, and you will be seeing a lot of Yankee shots today. Right here, the grounds crew putting that absorbent compound on the infield. If you just joined us and did not catch the opening, had a very special treat in the pregame ceremonies, as this is opening day here at Yankee Stadium. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Colin Powell, threw out the ceremonial first pitch, and boy, does he have a good arm and good motion.
I think he's got the best arm of anybody we've seen so far this year.
Yeah.
Opening day, yeah. Who's throwing out the first pitch at New Comiskey?
I don't know.
I think is it the governor?
Rob Gallus will get it to us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Big Jim Thompson, Governor Thompson, that's apropos, as he was always familiar in getting
boy.
the New Comiskey Park built.
Number 24.
And we understand that since they have put the finishing touches on it, it is just even more magnificent than they had anticipated, Wimpy.
I bet it's got to be state of the art. Probably will be the best ballpark in the big leagues. Let's hope so.
It'll be Moss, Mullins, and Barfield. There you see that compound. Kevin hitting .313, a homer, 3 RBIs. Last year, a couple of homers and 6 ribbies against Sox pitching. Outfield swung well around to the right. Takes it up and in. Ventura almost at the shortstop position. One and one the count. Now you can see they're into the 12th at Fenway Park. The Tribe and the Bo Sox. Zip, zip. In that yard, Mercer.
That's tough.
That's low. 2-1. Well, I saw in the highlights last night, Albert Bell, one of his home runs. I'll tell you, you get the curveball up to him and make a mistake with it, and you can put it on the board.
Oh yeah, looks like you're gonna have to pitch him inside. Big, strong guy. How about this stance on Kevin Moss? He's a low ball hitter, but you know he's leading the league in walks, so he scares me against Hibbard because he is such a good low ball hitter, and naturally Hibbard, being the good low ball pitcher that he is, a good matchup for the Yankees, and he has a good eye at the plate too. So he's hitting right now a very dangerous count for him, 3-1.
Now the Sox, they really got the shift on.
Boy.
Full count. Well, you know, usually as a rule, you don't want to see a left-hander throw a strong left-handed hitter a changeup, or a right-hander against a strong right-handed hitter a changeup either. But Hibbard's got such a good changeup, he can throw his to anybody. There's a rain now starting to come down just a shade harder. That's beat foul down to Big Frank at first.
And of course, Hibbard does have a good curveball as well. So a number of different ways to attack the hitters. But as you mentioned, his best pitch is that changeup. So should left-handers might have a better chance against him. Boy, there's a huge shift on for Moss. My goodness, everybody on the right side of the field. Robin Ventura playing shortstop.
Second ball 4, close.
It's 11th walk that Moss has gotten so far in the early part of the season. And that'll bring up Bam Bam. Now this guy is very dangerous.
Well, you saw Moss standing right on top of the plate with that back foot. Left-handers in that particular case don't like to throw the left-handed hitters who stand right on top of the plate to breaking pitch, as right-handers don't like to throw right-handed hitters who stand right on top of the plate to breaking pitch. So you got a little fear of hanging it. That's one reason Moss is so dangerous. He's right on top of it.
Yeah, he has a chance to hit everything hard because he's got the whole plate covered. Here's Bam Bam.
He's strong. Cues this one foul. Bam Bam hitting .313 on the season. No homers, 3 ribbies. We mentioned just 23 years old. Very wide shoulders. You can't tell it by that picture, but he's got some shoulders on him.
Yeah, what is he, 6'3", about 210 or so?
Yeah.
And growing.
Almost a blueprint of the first one in the count 0-2.
Yeah, he's cue ball on those pitches. He's not trying to go that way. Right-handers have had success against Hibbert, have tried to hit him up the middle. Have not tried to pull. When they do, it's a pretty much routine weak ground balls to the left side of the infield.
Moss not a real threat to run at first. Off the plate and count a ball and 2 strikes.
Mullins, what we saw of him in spring training, looks like an outstanding low fastball hitter. Hits from that crouch. I think he's going to be I just like his approach to hitting. Reminds me somewhat of a Pete Guerrero, his style.
Two and 2. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Sox. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Yankees.
We got him set up for that changeup right now.
Right here.
The old gotcha right here.
He rung him up. He'll grab some bench.
See, he's like me. He's looking for the changeup. He runs the fastball down and in, which is exactly where Mullins likes the ball. It's like a little cutter that we've seen Hibbert throw in the past. Watch it. Right there. Bang. You're dead.
Nice call, Wimpy.
Got me too. First strikeout.
Got a lot of us, kid. Here's Barfield hitting .250, no homers, 3 ribbies. He'll be just a little out of sync this afternoon, and it's understandable. He started warming up, had to sit down when the rains came. They left the tarp on, then got back up again. All of a sudden now you're also dealing with that slippery mound out there, as Sanderson has to deal with it as well. 2-0 the count. Now Pudge wants to talk to him. Tell him, don't forget about Moss. Let's get the hitter.
And of course, Jesse Barfield will be looking for something he can drive right here. He's got big power. Had a couple tremendous power seasons with the Blue Jays, but ever since he hurt that wrist, he really hasn't been the same. Oh boy.
Gas as a backswing, it looked like, got Fisk. Backswing of Barfield.
There's Dr. DeBakey out there. Herm Schneider. Pitch way out of the zone, as you can see. Oh.
Elbow.
Yeah.
That big man, throughout his career, has taken a beating back there.
You know, taken probably a bigger beating than anybody in the history of this game when you think about it.
Well, he's so big, he occupies so much space back there. He's going to catch more foul tips than your average guy.
Yeah.
Talking yesterday. I remember he got his bell rung one time up there at Fenway. I'll tell you, he's had it rung a few times. As out in front of the plate, Carlton's only play is to Big Frank. They get Barfield 2 out, Moss into second.
Well, there's a classic example right there of Jesse Barfield trying to pull a Greg Hibbert sinker or changeup. Anytime you do that, you're going to just beat it into the. Watch him pull off the ball right here, trying to pull. And there you see the end result of weak ground ball right in front of the plate. And Fisk throws him out easily. 2 out for Velarde. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go ahead.
I'll wait for you to finish.
I want you to sing the next line.
Okay. Here's Randy. He's 2 for 8 on the year. 4 for 18 lifetime against his former organization, the White Sox. Curveball dropped nicely in and over.
Oh, and Hibberd's got that curveball working for him. Boy, he's got 3 nasty pitches that he can rely on. And all 3 move very well. Actually, you can count 4 when he cuts that fastball in on the right-handed hitter.
Oh, and 2 the count. Everything revolves off that good change from Hibberd, though. That is the most important pitch. He has to get it. And he has such great arm action with it. That's the reason we were talking earlier. He can throw it even to left-handed hitters.
Yeah, and he can throw it 3-4 pitches in a row, too, to certain hitters.
Big gap between Johnson and Raines.
Coming inside. Ooh, good pitch. See Velarde out there guarding the outside corner. Fisk, knowing that, pops the fastball, just misses on the inside.
Moss at second.
Boy, they are really playing Velarde to hit the opposite way. Huge gap in left center. Boy, Raines is out there all alone in the pasture.
Off the end of the bat to change. Ozzie. Big Frank. That'll do it. Nothing across. There was a leadoff walk to Moss. No errors, a man left after 2. There it is.
Your attention, please.
2-0 Sox here in the top of the 3rd inning. And as you will see between most of the innings this afternoon, as long as this rain continues to come down, the grounds crew will have to make some repairs and also put some of that absorption compound, trying to soak up some of the wetness. But while Sanderson takes his warm-up toss, as a reminder that you can come out on Friday, April 26th, when the Sox host these same New York Yankees to the new Comiskey Park. Now, if you're one of the first 20,000 fans, you'll receive a baseball cap courtesy of Kemper Financial Services as part of opening week at new Comiskey Park. So for tickets, just dial Ticketmaster 1312-831-1-SOX. Oh, yes. Opening day next Thursday. It's going to be exciting.
Thursday. Yeah.
This Thursday, yeah. We got to wear our Texas.
Oh, we're going to looking good, too.
Looking clean.
It's easy for me to say, yeah.
Stan and Ollie again.
Why not? Anybody that's anybody, or everybody that's anybody will be there.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Then after the game at the ballpark, there's going to be a dinner honoring Eddie Einhorn for some of the outstanding work he has done in trying to raise money for an organization called ORC. And we understand Eddie has really done a big time job in raising money. Helped replace some of the vocational schools over in Israel that were wiped out by the Scud missiles from Iraq. But right here, it'll be Ventura, Thomas, and Fisk. Robin put the Sox on the board, his first homer of the year. A towering fly ball that just got over the right field fence, right down in the corner to the left of the 314 mark. Outfield, for the most part, straight away. Velarde even with a bag at third. Big 6'5" right-hander Scott Sanderson. That was Robin's second career homer against Yankee pitching. There's a solid knock to center. Yes.
Well, you can almost figure when you get that hit your first time up, especially driving in a couple home runs, the home run by Robin, you got to feel like he's going to have a good afternoon, good outing. And that was a perfect swing right there, just the way you diagram it. Pitch up and out over the plate, hammered right back up the middle. Yeah.
Big Frank, he just missed one. Hit a big time like a Frank Howard type or a Harmon Killebrew type fly ball to center field his first trip. Outfield bunches him just a shade. Fastball in off the plate. There's the pitch that the right-hander has got to take off Sanderson. I think there's one of two ways you have to go about hitting, Scott, if you're a right-handed hitter, especially if you're strong. You either got to get off the plate far enough to where you can take the fastball and don't worry about it being a strike inside, or you got to stand right on top of the plate. Ooh, another towering pop up. This one to Sachs.
Yeah, he didn't get his hands extended right there. He made contact behind him right there. The reason he popped it up and to the right side.
How would you hit Sanderson?
Well, I definitely don't want to hit his curveball, so I would, like you said, I'd move up right up on top of the plate. I'd move way up in front of the batter's box too. Of course, that's the way I hit everybody, but because I did not want that curveball. I don't care whose it was. Couldn't hit it.
Well, I look for something you can't handle.
That's right.
Here's Carlton.
You know, and catchers see that. And, you know, you're going to get a fastball to hit every time you go up there if you're up in front of the plate and on top of the plate.
I agree. That's the way I would have gone. I just stood right on top of it. And that way, as we mentioned, right-handers just don't like to throw that curveball to right-handed hitters right on top of the plate. Pudge scalded one. His first at bat for a double. Takes a strike. He got a good shot right there, but Sox with that emblem on the right sleeve of the new Comiskey Park. Inaugural season, 1991. I love the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure will be nice to see something white out there. 1-1 to count. Carlton now 6 for 15 on the season. Trying to take him with the pitch into right, out of play, upper deck, down into the lower deck, and the count 1-2. Two 5-0 for the Sox. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Bronx Bombers. Opposition in 4 games, hitting just 119 coming into today's action against Sox pitching.
And Pudge wearing out Sanderson, as you can see by that graphic. 6 for 9 in his career. Well, that's almost
667.
Yeah, that's real good. Thinking about Henneman from Detroit, we got those key hits against him the other day.
But he's 6 for 10 against him. That's almost 600, isn't it?
Yeah, just about. Right there at it. Looks like he wants to throw that fastball to Fisk.
Well, he can't throw for a strike. He's got to be in off the plate or on the outside edge to the outside the plate. He messes around with the middle. Carlton's going to burn him.
He's coming away. Breaking ball.
Velarde over to Sachs. Looked like Sachs forgot there was one out.
Well, Pudge wasn't exactly flying down the line. It would have been a close play at first, but it looked like Sachs was just making a beeline, getting out of the way of Ventura. There's good range, as you can see, for Velarde. And Saxy's just making sure one.
Pudge is running just as hard as he ever did. He's just not getting there quite as quick.
Right. Just not as. Come on, Danny.
Wimpy's picked a click this afternoon. Can't get the heater. And the count 0-1. Danny was called out on just an excellent curveball by Sanderson to end the first inning.
Well, Robin Ventura, your pick to click is just certainly dominating the offense so far this afternoon. 2 for 2, 2 ribbies. Oh boy.
Big sweeping hook. And the count 0-2.
Do drop in right there. He got him on that very pitch his last time up.
Well, he starts it outside the strike zone and up, and it's awful hard to stay with it from a hitter's standpoint. Tried to backdoor him right there. Took a little something more off of it. And the count 1-2. You know, the guy who really started that backdooring with a curveball was a former Sox left-hander who really did it prominently. That pitch fouled out of play, and that was Gary Peters. Gary was really the first guy to start consistently using it as a primary pitch. And of course, the best example I have ever seen of one guy in 1 year doing it was back in 1983, Lamar Hoyt. When Lamar won 24 games.
Yeah.
I mean, he could backdoor those left-handers with that curveball almost at will.
Here comes a fastball in. Ooh.
Pops it up. Guerin giving chase over by the Sox dugout. Can't quite get there in the first row.
Not a lot of foul territory here at Yankee Stadium. You're not going to pop out too often or foul out too often. Oakland is the place where, boy, I'll tell you what, you lose quite a few at bats a year because of pop outs in foul territory.
Pasqua battling hard. Count remains 1-2. See Scott already 57 pitches. Guerin to the outside. Tried to backdoor him. Just went around the corner. And the count 2-2. There's a good pitch by Sanderson.
Yeah.
There's a pitch that will indeed open up a little room with that fastball inside if he gets it in there deep enough.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You see, Danny, he's got most of his weight on his front foot to start. So it's really difficult for him to get back and stay back because that curveball of his is so slow. See, all his weight is forward right now.
That's out of play over the Sox dugout. Right about this point in time, if we were at home, Jack Gould would be going crazy.
Chasing those foul balls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
He'd be very tired right now. Fisk a short lead at first.
Ooh.
Another souvenir.
Well, he got a fastball right down the middle right there. But Danny's got to protect against two pitches right now, and I'm sure that curveball's got to be in the back of his mind.
That's why Sanderson can get away with a fastball occasionally.
Yeah. On this ballpark too, you can throw that fastball up and out over the plate.
Guerin once again to the outside. Beats it. Second base. Sacks underneath in time. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across. It was a leadoff single by Robin Ventura. No errors, a man left. 2.5 from Yankee Stadium. Sox leading 2-0.
Ladies and gentlemen.
A participating advertiser of White Sox baseball is Bowling Auto Sales, where it's advantage Dodge. 2-0 White Sox here in the bottom of the third inning. Sox trying to make it 5 in a row to start out the season, and that's the story. If you joined us late, after Raines had lined hard to right field leading off the ball game, Lance Johnson beat out an infield single to second base. Then Robin Ventura's first homer of the season, and that's where it stands. Only one Yankee base runner thus far. Hibbert retired the side in order in the first. He walked Kevin Moss leading off the second. Then he struck out Mullins, got Barfield to bounce in front of the plate to Fisk, and Velarde to bounce out to Ozzie. So Greg Hibbert making his second start of the year. His first one against the Orioles went 8 innings, giving up just 3 hits, 4 walks, and had 4 punch-outs. They're into the 13th inning at Fenway Park. Cleveland and Boston still scoreless.
A lot of offers in that ball game. I love looking at box scores where other guys went 0 for 8.
For the Yankees, it'll be Guerin, Alvaro Espinoza, then the top of the order, Steve Sachs. Bob 0 for 1 this year. What do you think, Will?
Lawrence,
Forget it.
I think you're making a big mistake.
Here's the 29-year-old Yankee receiver. Little Bulldog pours a strike over and a count 0-1. Baltimore at Milwaukee just starting. That's Jose Mesa against Chris Bosio. Turned it over, miss low. 1-1 the count. Now you see the Cardinals. Olympic Stadium in Montreal, no score in the second. And the on-deck hitter, Alvaro Espinoza. High in the right field, Sammy.
Number 20, Alvaro Espinoza.
Here's the Yankee shortstop who has been expressing some displeasure at not starting all the ball games. Velarde and the manager, Stump Merrill, says that the guys who produce are going to play. He says, we're looking for some offense.
That's right. Of course, right now, Espinoza's swinging a hot bat. Last year, he hit only 224, but the previous year, Hawk, he had a terrific year for these guys, hitting 282, 41 RBI. So he was a productive hitter 2 years ago.
0-1 the count. Up high, ball on a strike. There's the stumper.
Why do they call him Stump? Is it because his feet hang down, they don't touch the ground when he's sitting there?
Might be if you did your investigative reporting as Hibbert gets a strike over and the count 1-2.
I'm going to have it before the year's out.
Espinoza doesn't like it. Dale Scott says get back in there and swing the bat.
Yeah, looked good to me.
Looked like it had the whole plate.
Sure did.
Fist to the outside. Checks it up.
He did.
Yes, he did. Espinoza very upset. Meanwhile, he'll grab some bench.
And he's out of here.
I wonder if this is any indication, Wimpy, of what's going to be happening this year. I'm sure the Espinoza, he looked like he had, said something. You saw him on the call inside strike. Looked like he used a cuss word, so you don't know what he said after he called him out. But, watching the Oakland game last night, Joe Brinkman, who was a terrific umpire, but Joe, looked like Steinbach when he went back to the dugout. Looked like he gave him a quick hook. Didn't look like Terry was that demonstrative.
Sure, that's the way it appeared, yeah. Of course, the umpires are becoming better at lip reading. there you go. I think he said something that was not a strike.
Sachs drills one into left field. Raines will have to pull up, take it on the first bounce. So the Yankees, their first base hit of the ball game. 2-out single by the second baseman, Steve Sachs.
Saxey hammered that pitch. There's Espinoza. He's still on the bench. I think he's got to get out of here. Ozzie Guillen's best friend. There you see the pitch he questions first of all.
He got no beef there.
Yeah.
So with good speed aboard, Sachs 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Here's Mattingly. He lined out to Lance Johnson his first trip. Yankees are 4 for 7 in stolen bases this year. A beauty on the outside corner. Sachs at first last year stole 43 for the Pinstripes. Curveball hung it upstairs in the count. 2-1.
Now going back to last year, Don Mattingly hasn't struck out in his last 103 plate appearances. So he's been putting the ball in play. Not much power.
There's a base hit in the hole between first and second as Sachs rounds second base. Now stops Sammy.
Oh,
hesitated.
boy.
If Sammy comes up gunning, he's out of there.
Yep. Sachs put himself in no man's land. And if Sammy comes up gunning, he'd have had him easily. Oh, Mattingly took advantage of that hole between first and second. You got to respect Sachs's speed. And as you can see, he comes around the bases right here and is a little apprehensive, stops, and eventually gets in there. Sammy, on the other hand, comes in bare hands it in good shape right here. And if he throws it, boom, he's got Sachs.
2 out, runners at the corners to Roberto Kelly. Face it up the middle. Sox scores, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Roberto Kelly gets his 7th RBI on the season, not hitting much for average, but leading this club in RBIs. He was put in that number 3 spot in the order. He's got a low fastball and shot it right back up the middle, which is exactly what you have to do against the Greg Hibbert. Pitch is down and he goes after it, nails it up the middle. The ball almost stops before it gets to Lance Johnson. Lance gets there in a hurry. So Mattingly stops at second, and you got the very dangerous Kevin Moss up there now with 2 runners, 2 aboard and 2 out.
Moss has drawn the only walk issued by Hibbert. See Moss right on top of that plate. To another count.
Shane biting at that pitch upstairs. Now Moss can pick his pitch right here. First run given up by Greg Hibbert so far this season.
Outfield, swung around to the right. Way back. Sosa jumps. Cannot make the catch. You can put it on the board. A 3-run homer for Kevin Moss. And the Yankees lead it 4-2.
All this coming with 2 out. Greg Hibbert laid one in there on a 2-0 count. That's why Kevin Moss is so dangerous, because he can work the count in his favor, get his pitch, and then drive it. As Hawk mentioned, he's right on top of the plate, so he's going to get a lot of pitches that he's going to be capable of hitting out of the ballpark, that being one of them.
Well, that's one of the reasons that Kevin Moss is such a formidable offensive force. The left-handers just don't like to throw him the breaking ball when he's standing that close to the plate. They have that subconscious feeling that they might hang it. Here he drives it high. Look for a second like Sammy may have a play on it, and then he just couldn't get there. But if indeed Moss, who stands just about as close to the plate with that back foot as anybody in the league, if you take away Hibberd's curveball from him, now all of a sudden you're turning him into basically a one-pitch pitcher. As Mullins, he struck out back in the second inning. Then all of a sudden, if he misses with a breaking ball and he gets in a hole 2-0, here comes the heater. That's off the end of the bat. Ozzie over to Big Frank. That'll do it. But the Yankees, with 2 out, come up with 3 runs on 4 hits. Take that, 4 runs, and after 3 innings of play, it's 4-2 New York.
All fans attending today's game.
4th inning here at Yankee Stadium. New York coming up with 4 2-out runs in the bottom of the 3rd, lead at 4-2. And there you see Mike Blowers has come into the game after Alvaro Espinoza was ejected. He's at 3rd, and Randy Velarde moves from 3rd over to shortstop. But you know, Wimpy, getting back to Kevin Moss and how close he stands in proximity to the plate. When a hitter stands that close to the plate, he causes a pitcher to do a couple of things differently. First of all, as I mentioned, if it's a right-handed hitter to a right-handed pitcher and you're standing right on top of the plate, he didn't want to throw the breaking ball that much. So chances are you're going to get the fastball, but still the most important thing is that the hitter is dictating some of the action versus the guy who stands way off the plate. You give the pitcher many more opportunities and options to freewheel it and do it any way he wants to do it when you're way off the plate.
Yeah, that's for sure. The thing that you got to like about Moss, especially in this ballpark, is that just about everything thrown up there on the plate, he is capable of pulling. And of course, when you can pull the ball in this yard, being a left-handed hitter, you can have great success. And he's got a great eye too. He's not swinging at that bad pitch. The one way you can pitch Kevin Moss that we've seen in the past is to throw him the fastballs up and in. You got to put it there though.
It'll be Sosa, Ozzie, and Fletcher. Sammy, a strikeout victim. Very close check swing back in the 2nd inning. Outfield straight away. Curveball over. Right now, let's pause for our station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Along with Rumperu, Tom Paciorek, this is the Hawk Ken Harrelson. First of a 3-game set, Yankee Stadium, as that curveball hit him. So the leadoff man aboard.
Well, Sanderson doesn't like that. He just flipped that curveball up there. It didn't break.
Now this is an easy one to take to the club right here. Leading off an inning when you're
Piece
down.
of cake, especially when you have 2 strikes on you.
You don't want to take it in the elbow though.
No.
Take it in the back of the butt.
Well, leadoff man on. Comeback time. Got to reestablish that momentum that the Yankees took over in the bottom half of the 3rd inning with that 4-run burst that they had.
Ozzie waiting for Sammy down at first base to get his gloves set. And here's the co-captain. He flied to Roberto Kelly his first trip. Blowers in on the grass at 3rd. Outfield swung around to the left. Good lead by Sosa. Sammy, not quite as big a lead. That one bites home plate umpire Dale Scott, and the count 0-1.
Take a look at the fastball down. Oh my, rattling around in there.
Close.
Yep. What do you mean by that?
Curveball just a little high on that tantalizing, teasing hook from Scott Sanderson. Scott, as we mentioned, a big fella, 6'5", 200 pounds, very handsome man. There goes Sammy. Guerin with the throw. Oh, there's a close play right there. Van Morrison calls him out.
Nothing wrong with that play right there. Sox want to stay aggressive as they did all last season. But Guerin just nails him. There you see Ozzie swings through the low fastball, and he just throws a bullet right there. Tag put on by Velarde. Man.
I thought he was safe. Still think he was safe. 1-2 pitch to Ozzie. There's a curveball laced in the left field for a base hit as Mullins gets over, takes it on the second bounce.
Big play right there. That caught stealing. Sure was close.
Second baseman, Scott Fletcher.
As we mentioned, Bob Guerin has a very fine throwing arm. Karkovice led the league in percentage last season, but Bob Guerin was second.
Yeah, Karko at 50%, Bob Guerin at 43. So just keep charging, keep fighting them. The rain looks like it stopped completely here at Yankee Stadium, and it's gotten a little bit chilly.
Here's Scooter. He had a solid single to center. That was in the second inning. Ozzie just a decent lead. Fakes does not go. That pitch out of play right side, and the count 0-1. National League schedule. Phillies take on the Cubs at Wrigley tonight. Dodgers will be at Candlestick. Cincinnati takes on the Padres out in San Diego. Baltimore, Milwaukee in the American League. Toronto with Detroit. And of course, still on the board here at Yankee Stadium. 13th inning, no score, Cleveland at Fenway Park. Scotty trying to shoot that one into right center field. And a count 0-2. Oakland will take on the Halos at the Big A in Anaheim, and Minnesota will be at the Kingdom against the Mariners. The Mariners 0-6. Here's tomorrow's pitcher for the Sox. He'll be making his 91 debut, Melito Perez. One out, Guillen at first. Yankees lead at 4-2 here in the top of the fourth. Curveball high. Ball and 2 strikes. You see the Yankee outfield almost equidistant, bunched, swung well around to the right. That's deep to left field.
Get out of here.
Mullins back, looks up. You
Yes!
can put it on the board. Yes! A 2-run homer for Scott Fletcher, and the game is tied at 4.
Go ahead, Scooter boy. Oh, he nailed that one. We said the ball's been carrying very well this afternoon, and that ball had to go about 370, 380 feet because it really goes out in a hurry. Scotty Fletcher with his first homer of the season. Couldn't have come at a better time. 2 for 2. 6 RBIs now for Scooter. Let's take a look at it. He tries to come inside with the fastball, and quick hands right there by Scotty. He nailed it. There's Mullins. Never a doubt.
Here's Raines. Takes the strike. Raines 0 for 1. He lined hard to Barfield in the first. He walked in the second. There was great recognition and reaction right there by Fletcher. He just reacted to that fastball.
Oh, he sure did.
You know, 2 pitches prior to that, he got almost the same pitch trying to go into right field. Shot it foul over the Yankee dugout.
Well,
there he was just looking for the ball. He got the fastball inside and reacted.
Well, he had to make contact out in front of the plate to drive the ball like that, and he did. Got those arms extended and drilled it.
The 0-2 pitch to Raines.
Scooter's just eating up this Yankee pitching. Career-wise, 347 coming in.
See the fans right there wanting Wimpy to throw the ball back onto the field.
The guy said, nah. He might be a Sox fan. They have ways of persuading you around here.
Yeah, we have seen some over the years.
Yeah, if the guy wants to keep the ball, let him keep it. Grief. They're going to wait for him after the game like he did in the schoolyard.
That breaking ball way up high and off the plate, and the count evens at 2. Still just 1 out. 2-2 the count to Raines with Johnson on deck. 4-7-0 for the Sox. 4-4-0 for the Pinstripes. Up high with a gas, and it's full.
Well, Sanderson in that first game against the Tigers got the Detroit team to swing at that high fastball. Sox have been more patient, and as a result, 7 hits already.
Another shot right to Sachs, makes a good play.
Wow.
Over to Mattingly. Boy, that just almost ate him up.
Yeah, a foot either way, and that's got to be a base hit. I tell you, Raines has hit the ball hard on both occasions. He walked the 3rd time, but watch this. Man, oh, out in no man's land. That ball hit about 3 feet in front of him. Saxey, quick hands, does a little juggling act and throws him out. Tough luck there for Timmy Raines.
Yeah, he got caught right in between, didn't recognize it real quick, got caught back on his heel, still made the play. Here's Lance. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored.
Now here's the guy I want Sanderson to throw that high fastball to. Lance Johnson, a very good high fastball hitter. High ball hitter. Very few of them left in this world.
Blowers in on the grass at 3rd. Randy Velarde, the shortstop. Over to Mattingly. That'll do it, but the Sox tie it up. 2-run homer by Scott Fletcher, his first of the year, and after 3.5 from Yankee Stadium, tied at 4. Bottom of the 4th inning, a 4-4 tie. 2-run homers by Robin Ventura in the first, and Scotty Fletcher, top half of this frame, to go along with a 3-run blast by Kevin Moss. And Whipperoo, the little Bulldog, right back in there.
He is right. He'll give him a battle, no doubt about it. Kevin Moss has got great power, but Scotty Fletcher with the old equalizer. And the Sox, who have only hit 2 home runs prior to this game, have got on the board twice with 2-run homers by Ventura and Fletcher. And now if the Bulldog can just settle down here, got a good ball game.
Barfield, Velarde, and Guerin. '31-year-old veteran out of Joliet, Illinois. Hit a little tapper right out in front of home plate that Fisk Threw him out at first. Takes the ball. And a reminder, you can plan a special pregame party below right field in the new Comiskey Park on the Kingsford Charcoal Patio area. Party packages are available for groups of 20 to 1,500 people. So for more information, just call the Sox sales office at 312-924-1000. And Hibbert having home plate, jump around on him a little bit. If he cannot pitch, down in the count. Against Baltimore, for the most part, he was 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. 3-0. Yeah, we mentioned it back in the second inning, though. Wimpy, he was getting behind those guys. He just seems out of sync. Doesn't have his good rhythm. There's a strike, and the count 3-1.
Well, he's one of those guys that has trouble usually in the early going, and once he establishes himself after the first couple innings, he has smooth sailing. A little bit different day, though, today. Constantly adjusting to the wet conditions.
Took just a little something off of it, and the count goes full. Barfield has put himself the last few seasons into the category of strictly being a streak hitter.
Well, that's for sure. He was one of the most dangerous hitters in the American League a few years ago with Toronto. A couple hundred RBI seasons back to back. See him trying to pull that outside pitch right there. Unfortunately, he hit that one foul. And he's been trying to get out ever since he hurt his wrist. He just can't get to the ball. And as a result, you're getting yourself into so many bad habits. You commit too early to the pitch. And when you do that, everything flies out. The hips, the shoulder, and the head. So you slow up your bat at the same time. So you can't hit either the fastball or the breaking ball.
He gets out in front of this one. That's foul. And, of course, the great Robert Merrill, who did such a great job, as always, on the national anthem, coming into the booth. Bobby, it's good to see you. He's a tremendous, tremendous baseball fan.
He can sing a little bit, too.
Yes, he does very well.
Yeah, I saw that first time I heard him. I said, this guy can sing. I did the same thing with Perry Como and Frank Sinatra. Yeah.
There you see from Fenway Park, the Indians in 13 innings beat the Red Sox 1-0. Brooke Jacoby. Shot foul.
Oh, Lordy.
Steve Olin was a winner in that game. Dennis Lamp the loser, and Doug Jones picked up his third save of the season. That was Jacoby's first dinger of the year.
Cleveland building their team around. They're trying to go with speed now. They've made that ballpark a lot bigger all the way around Cleveland Stadium.
Once again, the payoff pitch. Ventura. One gone. Good job by Hibbert, falling down in the count 3-0. But as you mentioned, Wimpy, you know, Barfield in that situation, the 3-1 pitch, he's trying to jerk it out over that left center field wall, had no chance. The only time Jesse really is dangerous right now is when he's turning around the high fastball. When he's doing that, he's dangerous.
Yeah.
Here's Velarde. Bounced out to Ozzie in the second inning. Outfield again swung well around to the right. This is a bit of unusual positioning for Velarde. Pops it up. Scotty. Velarde against the Sox in the past has pulled the ball. There's two out.
Number 53, Bob Guerin. Catcher.
Here's the catcher, Bob Guerin. Popped up to Sosa, leading off the third.
Well, you know, you look at this Yankee lineup, Buck, and from 1 to 5 in the batting order, they're very respectable.
After that,
I'll tell you what, those first 5 better do it.
Guerin 4 for 33 against the White Sox lifetime with a homer and 3 ribbies. A homer coming last year right here off a hanging splitter. Oh, and 1 the count. Outside. Ball and a strike. Oh, had him out in front. Good arm action by Hibbert. 1-2.
There he is. There's Carl. Hey, is Carl Stump Merrill and Robert Merrill? No relation? Oh boy.
That'll do it. Good change from Hibbert. A 1-2-3 inning. Second time he's done it in the game. And after 4, first of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium, tied at 4.
Hitters to face him. And Robin, along with Scotty Fletcher, has been the hitting star in this ball game with a home run and a two-run homer and single. Both Scott and Ventura 2 for 2. Fastball upstairs. Robin's got his batting average up to 385 as he stands up at home plate with that homer. 3 RBIs now on the season.
That's good.
Very. Oh, inside fastball. He just opened those hips up a little early and nubbed it off the end of the bat. 2 inside fastballs are what the Sox have hit out of the ballpark for all the runs off Sanderson this afternoon.
Yeah, he has not been hurt on his curveball one time.
No.
All the damage has been done on the fastball. And of course, he has to, as we talked about earlier, he's got to work from the inside corner in and the outside corner out. He cannot mess around with the middle of that plate with that fastball.
Oh, high fastball hit the left center deep. Bam Bam's there, and he makes the play. A lot of room out there to roam.
First baseman, Frank Thomas.
1 out, and that'll bring up Big Frank Thomas. Frank 0 for 2. Well, he's just missed a couple. Fly to center in the first inning and popped out to second in the third. Frank scuffling in the early going, takes a curveball. Sanderson wants to know where it is. Frank hitting 125, no homers, 2 RBIs on the season so far. Fastball drilled in the right center field. Barfield there, though. He'll make the play. Just didn't get it. Didn't get his arms extended right there.
No,
So
just a
2 on.
hair tardy.
Yeah.
Catcher,
When Big Frank is making contact out in front of home plate, that's when you see that awesome display of power. Well, that'll bring up Fisk. Carlton 1 for 2. He doubled in the first inning and safe on a fielder's choice in the third. You can hit home runs off Sanderson. 1 every 7.5 innings. Pudge hitting 375, 3 RBIs on the season. Takes a curveball right there. Another one up high. There's that pitch you don't want to throw to a guy that's standing right at home, right on top of the plate, Hawk. That's that hanger that should be deposited in the seats. One thing about Yankee Stadium, though, you can get away with a lot of mistakes here. Another curveball misses.
Scott just flying open a little too quick. He's getting closer to that, that joy spot, though. I'll tell you, with that hanger.
Yeah. Come on, Pugsley. Hitters count. Ooh, there's another curveball. Good one right on the outside corner.
Yeah, something hang too. Well, he stayed closed up on that one a little bit and stayed with it. Got on top, not underneath it.
So Pudge seeing a steady diet as we look at first base coach
Talking
Barry
about steady
Ford.
diets?
Yes, talking about diets. There's Barefoot. Oh, he hammers at the center line. Shot. Kelly coming on and makes the shoestring catch. 3 up, 3 out down inning for Sanderson in the 5th. We've still got a tie ball game at 4.
It's the great city subway race. Yo, New York, how you doing?
Infielder from Tacoma, Washington. Nubs this one off the end of the bat. Hibbert likes that when they try and pull him. Definite power factor here in Blowers. He was called up last year, batted only 188 after doing very well at Columbus. He had 339 at Columbus, then hit 188 with the Yankees. 5 homers, 21 RBIs, but he struck out 150. No, he struck out 50 times in 150 at bats. And they're looking for a consistent third baseman over here, Hawk.
Ever since Greg Nettles.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, Nettles, who's their third base coach. There's a little nubber off the end to Ozzie. And there's 1 out. Well, they've tried Leyritz over there last year, Velarde. And of course in Yankee Stadium, if you're going to be a third baseman, you got to put some numbers on the board. You either got to hit for a high average or hit with power.
Well, Piarulo, Mike, when he was here, Mike had a couple of outstanding seasons for the Yankees. But then but as we mentioned, ever since Greg Nettles, it's been a lot of different guys over there.
Yeah, Piarulo did have a couple good power years, then he got hurt, like his shoulder problem, and really turned off his power. So here's Steve Sachs. Saxy's 1 for 2. He scored a run in the 3rd inning after he singled. Came in on an RBI single by Roberto Kelly. Takes the changeup, strike 1. Steve Sachs, a career .283 hitter. Had a terrific year last year for the Yankees.
There you see the Orioles leading the Brewers 1-0 County Stadium, 3rd inning. Glenn Davis's first American League home run in that game. And St. Louis and Montreal tied at 1. Andres Galarraga.
The big cat gets his first homer. Now Steve Sachs is the one guy in this lineup, the right-hander, who has that real good ability to go the opposite field, and the Sox are playing him that way. They're coming in with the fastball. He hits it foul down the 3rd baseline. Bucky Showalter, third base coach, and the man we were just talking about, Greg Nettles, is at first. Pudge wants it away. Ooh, he gave it to him right there. Just misses the outside corner. 2-2 on Sachs. He hits it to left field, but the Rock is standing right there. And they're 2 down.
Boy, there's an excellent changeup from Hibbert. Had Sachs double clutching up there. Oh no, you just get the feeling right here. We've been talking about how Hibbert's been out of sync. You just get the feeling he's starting to get back in sync.
Yeah, he's getting ahead of the hitters, and that's always the key for Greg Hibbert. Of course, he got hurt by the power part of the lineup his last time through. It seems like if you can get through those first 5 guys, you can have a fairly easy go of it with the Yankees. Some action in the Yankee bullpen. Number 25, Greg Cadaret, acquired from the Oakland A's in that Ricky Henderson deal. First pitch right there. We talked about Mattingly at the beginning. Has really changed his batting style, mainly because of that back injury that he had last year. He's not really down in that crouch that we're so accustomed to seeing him. I used to just think that Mattingly hit with his legs. He weighed in that deep crouch. Now he's kind of like a Rod Carew.
Well, he changes a lot. He's always changed a lot, though. He's a guy that's hit into center field. Lance Johnson has the bead, the catch, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Hibbert, and after 5, tied at 4.
We've completed 5 innings here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. 4-4 tie. 4-7-0 for the White Sox. 4-4-0 for the Yankees. And as we start the 6th inning here in the Bronx, we have a pitching change. Scott Sanderson worked 5 innings for New York. He is lifted now for left-hander Greg Cadaret. Sanderson pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 7 hits. He walked 1, struck out 3, and he hit a batter. 2 2-run homers by Robin Ventura and Scott Fletcher were the big blows against Sanderson this afternoon. Cadaret, as we mentioned in the previous inning, came over to the Yankees in a trade with the Oakland A's. He, Eric Plunk, and Luis Polonia for Ricky Henderson. That was back in 1989. First pitch to Pasqua. Ooh, he waved at a bad breaking ball. Last year, well, no, he was 5-4 with a 4.15 earned run average in 54 appearances. Started 6 games, worked a lot of innings for a reliever, 120, gave up 120 hits, 64 walks, and that has been a problem area for him. He will walk you, but he can strike you out too. He had 80 last year. Fastball upstairs. Oh, there's good breaking ball. Kind of shocked Danny Pasqua. He's not used to batting against these lefties. And Cadaret, big guy, should be tough on left-handed hitters. Ooh, he nailed the outside corner.
Tough sequence right there to Danny. A little quick slider on the second strike, and all of a sudden get him in the hole, and you come with a fastball out on the outside corner right here. That's going to get a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. And as we mentioned, Danny hasn't played a whole lot against lefties. Jeff Torborg feels like it's too early in the game to pinch hit.
Oh, yeah, he's not going to let Stump Merrill dictate his lineup already.
That's right. I want to turn that lineup over. No, Sammy Sosa steps in. Sammy struck out in the 2nd inning, was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and he was caught stealing. Good play by catcher Bob Guerin. He waves at a high fastball, 1-1. Cadaret's got a good arm, but you got to be patient with him. He will throw a lot of balls, and you can get a lot of 2-0, 3-1 hitting situations when he's out there.
Plus, he has a penchant for making some bad pitches. That's the big thing. You're right, Wimpy. He's got a good arm. He's got a better than average fastball to the eye of the hitter. You can see that from the reactions of the hitters. A little good quick slider. But it seems like a lot of times he'll have you 0-2, 1-2. Boom. Hangs one or gets a fastball right in the middle of the plate, and somebody turns him around or hits him hard.
Here comes a fastball. Sammy swings right through it. Two up, 2 down.
Everybody likes his arm. Everybody likes his ability. Just trying to get it channeled and harnessed into the proper direction of what the Yankees are trying to do with him.
Ozzie Guillen will be the hitter. 1 for 2. Ozzie singled in the 4th inning and came home on Scotty Fletcher's first home run of the season. Oh, whoa. Little discussion right there. Guerin saying that ball was fouled and just kind of stuck in the mud around for home plate.
Well, Dale Scott didn't see the play. It looked like some dirt jumped up, hit him in the eye, so that's the reason he's calling Jimmy Evans down. He didn't see it. I think they're going to call him out.
I didn't even think Ozzie made contact right there.
Dale Scott, the only thing you can tell him is, hey, I didn't see it. I got the dirt. call him out.
It's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Greg Cadaret. We've completed 5.5 here in New York, and the score will remain 4-4.
Another look at the disputed call at home plate. Dale Scott, the home plate umpire, has some dirt come up, hits him. You see the ball hit behind. Now you watch Scott. And Eric Aaron is going to come out and put the tag on Ozzie. And there's going to be a discussion, of course. But, you know, in reality, Ozzie really played it smart right there, using his experience, his cunning, and his guile, because whatever he said to Scott and Evans was in Spanish, and they couldn't understand it. So he's still in the ball game. That's experience for you.
That's great experience. And Roberto Kelly will lead things off. Takes a fastball up and in, ball 1. Well, the first base umpire, Jim Evans, made the decision right there. And I always felt like the third base umpire was supposed to make the call, Tim Welke, but it did look like it was the right call.
Yeah. Well, as I said, you know, Scott didn't see it. The only thing he can tell is Evans, hey, look, I hate to put this on you. I didn't see it. You know, I had dirt in my eye. You're going to have to make the call.
And he did. It went against the Sox. 1-1 now on Kelly. He hits it in the air to center field. Lance Johnson's got a beat on it. And there's one out in the 6th for the Yankees. And I like seeing this guy coming up to the plate with nobody on base. Kevin Moss. Well, he looks like just a superbly disciplined hitter at the plate. And you know, he's a low fastball hitter all the way, Hawk, and with his ability to take the walk, he's going to get a lot of pitches in his zone that he can strike hard.
And again, that back foot right on top. You can see in relationship to home plate, very, very close. It makes it tough on Hibby to throw the breaking pitch, as there's the strike on the inner half. Over the years, though, you know, you watch guys with this style of hitting, and what you got to do with them, you just got to pound them inside, deep, deep, and deeper.
Yeah.
And then you do that, you've got to operate and open up some room for yourself on the outside. That's the only way to get room for yourself on the outside, is by pounding them deep, deep, and deeper in.
Well, the times that I've seen Kevin Moss make out, it has been on exactly what you said, the fastball inside and belt high and above.
I didn't hit it hard foul. It doesn't make any difference.
Oh, sure. Well, they got that radical shift on Moss. Everybody on the right side of the infield. Hanging breaking ball upstairs. Ozzie Guillen on the right side of first base side of second base, and Robin Ventura is playing shortstop. Deep and pulled around the right in the outfield. Got him.
Good change.
There's the changeup. You said you can, as good as Hibbard's changeup is, he can throw that to left-handed hitters.
That's his #1 pitch. Scott Sanderson's #1 pitch is the curveball. Hibby's got to throw the change, and he can throw it to everybody because of the excellent motion, the deception, and the arm speed that he has with it.
And even as disciplined as Moss is at the plate, didn't anticipate the changeup, and that was out of the strike zone. So with 2 strikes, a lot of good things can happen for you as a pitcher, but you've got to get ahead in the count. That'll bring up Bam Bam Mullins. 0 for 2. Oh boy, he's just flying out of there big time today.
Boddicker may have put him in a slump yesterday.
That's true.
And that happens sometimes to a young hitter. You get a guy like Mike Boddicker, the veteran, who doesn't throw hard, but he knows how to pitch. Different varieties of breaking pitches out there. I'll tell you, he can put you in a slump. He can get your head turning where you got nothing but brain cramps.
Misses outside. Yeah, he struck out 3 times yesterday in Kansas City against Boddicker, all on that real slow breaking ball. He can change speeds of with the best of them. Here's ball 2, so he's ahead in the count now, 2-1.
There's the hitting coach, Big Frank Howard, former roommate of mine.
Really?
He's something. Big Hondo.
He couldn't eat, could he?
Oh, Jesus.
He pulls one weakly to Ozzie Guillen. The throw And Greg Hibbert has another 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 6 in the Bronx. Still 4-4.
That's the story. Top of the 7th inning. 4-7-0 for the Sox. 4-4-0 for the Bronx Bombers. For the Sox here in the 7th, it'll be Fletcher. Then the top of the order, Raines and Johnson. Scotty is perfect on the afternoon. Solid single to center in the 2nd, and a 2-run homer off Scott Sanderson in the 4th. Scotty now with 6 ribbies on the season. Hello.
Scotty didn't get any hits in Detroit, but he swung the bat well in those 2 ball games. But he is back in that good groove of finding the open spaces.
Southpaw Greg Cadaret. Outfield swung around to the right. Gap between Mullins in left and Kelly in center. Shot, base
Get it
hit.
in there.
Thank you.
The Scooter, he's red hot.
Left fielder,
So the leadoff man aboard.
Raines.
As you look at Ozzie, Ozzie's still hot.
Well, Oz didn't have a real good swing at that pitch. he didn't drive that ball real good. This thing went thud and stuck.
Charlie Huff getting on him.
Yeah.
Charlie will get on you too.
Oh, unmercifully.
So
No one
here's
is safe.
Raines. Raines has hit the ball hard twice. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Short lead by Fletcher. Outfield bunch straight away. Flowers at the cut of the grass at 3rd.
Now, is
And
this
while they're messing around out there, reminder, you can be there Wednesday, April 24th, when the Sox conclude their series with the Orioles. First 20,000 adults in attendance, age 21 and over, will receive an inaugural season poster courtesy of Miller High Life as part of opening week at the new Comiskey Park.
Is this a bunt situation?
I wouldn't bunt him. I'd hit and run him if I was going to do anything. Raines swinging the bat well. You know, he lined
sure.
hard to Barfield, then he smoked one to Sachs, handcuffed him at second base.
Oh, yeah. Cadaret, though, is a tough guy to hit and run against, though, Hawk, because he doesn't throw that many strikes.
We'll let him walk you then.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you put a guy in motion, he throws one over the hitter's head, he's not going to be able to hit and run it. And Scooter, well, he's quick, but I don't think he can outrun Guerin's gun.
That's 2-0 the count. Let him sit back and hang himself. Activity down in the Yankee pen. Right-hander Rich Monteleone.
That's Italian.
That's Italian.
Yeah, but he could have a lot more hits than what you see right there. Come on, Rock.
I like the way he's carrying himself. That's what's impressive. Coming over to a new team, a new league. Starts off, you know, over 10 in that opening series in Baltimore. Handling himself like he should. He's a pro and he's handling himself like that.
They're playing straight up for him. That's why you get that 300 career batting average, because you have so many open spots to hit it to, and that most good 300 hitters will hit it all over.
They got to hurry here. They get him. First double play of the afternoon by the Yankees, 6th of the season.
He made a big pitch right here on 2-0. Got the weak ground ball to second. The flip. You can see they did it perfectly. The Yankee infield, 4-6-3.
All right there, Rock, for the most part, got himself out. He tried to over control right there. Here's Lance. Lance started off the 2-run first with an infield single, struck out in the 2nd, and bounced to short in the 4th. Fastball misses. Fifth inning at Olympic Stadium in Canada. Cardinals and Expos tied at 1. Cleveland in 13 at Fenway Park beat the Red Sox 1-0. There's a shot base it into center field.
Boy, Lance nailed that one. So 2 of the 3 hitters in this inning have really hit shots off of Cataray, but there's a 2-out situation. Runner at first.
Robin Ventura.
And Ventura. Robin 2 for 3 with a couple of RBIs. See if Lance is going. Get on point, Lancelot, and get in that scoring position.
Watch out.
Wow.
Lance came up on point just a little too quick.
That's right. When he gets on point, too, he's got that shoulder turn, so it's a little bit more difficult for him to get back to first base. So Cataray, I'm sure, will keep a close eye on him. Lance does hit left-handed pitchers very well. I showed you right there with that shot right back up the middle.
Seems like the tougher and the better stuff they have, the better he hits them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That fastball inside. I know he continually amazed us last year against those tough left-handers in situations where you thought he was overmatched, and boom. Either a little duck snort here or a line drive there.
Right. He'd always do the job. Thinking, well, why didn't he pinch hit for him? No way. Of course, he's on first base, and that speed factor, very important.
Ventura has a little room out there in left center between Mullins and Kelly.
Maybe Lance will get one of those real good jumps that we saw him have last year.
He got some of the greatest jumps last year I have ever seen.
He stole second base standing up about 4 or 5 times. Of course, now on the other hand,
all the guy had to do was step off, and he got it right in the middle. There goes Lance. Guerin right over the top, right on the money, not in time.
Oh, go ahead, Lance. He got a good jump right there, and he had to because Guerin was right on the money again. This guy can throw.
Deadgum right, he can.
Woo, Lordy.
Lance just got him with a jump right there. Guerin with a quick release too, Wimpy.
Yeah, look at him. He just kicks that ball right by his ear. Well, you know the Booter boy's been working with this guy. Mark Hill, former Sox catcher, good instructor. You could see that release. Man, that's him.
Mark Hill is probably as fine a catching instructor as there is in all of baseball. In today's marketplace, where you've got a lot of guys, a lot of teams going to speed, there is one area that has been so much overlooked in the past by a lot of organizations: catcher instruction. Activity down in the Yankee pen. That's inside.
That must be Monteleone.
They just called him up as they sent Terry Lavello down to AAA. So the count 3-0 to Ventura. Hello, here comes Big Frank.
I like this matchup, unless the stumper wants to make a move here. I think so.
Frank Thomas.
Here's what you were talking about, Greg Cataray, earlier.
Yeah. Well, he got himself in a bit of a jam right there, walking the left-handed hitter. Now he's got the cleanup guy, and that will be it, I'm sure, for him.
Stump trying to emphasize one point. I think he's going to stay with him, looks like.
No kidding, he sure is. Why do they call him Stump? Look at that stride. His feet are hanging down. They're not touching the ground.
Mark Connors sitting beside him, pitching coach. So here's Big Frank, 0 for 3. Outfield swung around to the left. 4-4 tie. On the outside corner, pull a string on him. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Sox. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Bronx Bombers. Little tardy on that fastball. And the count quickly 0-2. Now last year when Frank was called up, for the most part he was 2-0-3-1 all the time.
Well, the Yankees have relinquished some leads. Yeah, you're right. He was 2-0, 3-1 every time he turned around. No, he didn't. Looked like a split finger pitch right there. Went straight down. Well, this is the first time Frank has been caught in the middle of a little bit of a downspin. You know, and he's going to have. There's a fastball inside. He's going to have to make a mental adjustment, because last year he was so successful. Wherever he has played, Frank has been a star.
Well, he had that one bit of a slump there last season, and he impressed everybody. He came right out of it, handled it like a real pro. So I don't think there's any problem with the way he's going to approach this. He's 2 for 17. He seems to be, for all the Sox fans out there who maybe not have had the opportunity to see Frank in interviews or whatever, he seems to be very much in control of his emotions. He certainly is well disciplined. He's just a fine young man. Very quiet, very unassuming, and he got terrific work habits.
Yes.
Little looper. This is trouble. This is trouble. Yeah. Here comes Lance. He scores. Ventura in the third. Sox lead at 5-4.
And another 2-out RBI.
A 2-out rally.
2-out rally. It's all started with 2. Oh, he got fisted big time right here. But when you're that strong and you take a full swing, good things happen to you. He got jammed really bad right here, but you couldn't throw the ball in there any more perfect. Third RBI of the season for Big Frank Thomas, and it couldn't have come at a better spot. Watch the swing. See, he makes contact behind him almost. That ball's past him. Look where he makes contact. He just fought it off his hip. Got to get the head of the bat out. He didn't, but it worked. Runners now at the corners. 2 out for Pudge. Oh, he's strong.
That's the benefit that goes along with that strength. If you or I hit that ball, Sox makes the catch.
That's right.
Maybe even Guerin. Here's Pudge. Pudge 1 for 3. Hit the ball hard twice.
Well, you know, that's a type of thing, too, that will get a guy out of a tailspin, too. A little cheap hit, a broken bat here. All of a sudden, his next time up, he feels better about himself. He's got himself an RBI, and he usually takes off on a hot streak. Hopefully, that'll be the case with Big Frank.
Off the plate, 1-1. Right now, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
And along with Tom Paciorek, the Whipperoo, this is the Hawk-Ken Harrelson Yankee Stadium, first of a 3-game set. Sox and the Pinstripers. Sox lead at 5-4. Good arm action right there from Cataray. Had Fisk way out in front in the count 1-2. If you joined us late, Sox took the lead 2-0 first inning. Robin Ventura's first home run of the season. And with 2 out, the Yankees scored 4 in the third. Scotty Fletcher's 2-run homer in the fourth tied it. And then Big Frank Thomas duck snort has put them on top 5-4. Left side, Velarde gets a nice little Butterfield bounce over to second. They force Big Frank, and that'll do it. But not before the Sox, once again, with 2 outs, come up with a run on 3 hits. No errors, 2 men left after 6.5 from Yankee Stadium. 5-4 White Sox. Yes.
Your attention, please.
Right. That's right. Let's take a look at our Miller Lite scoreboard. Cleveland beat Boston in 13 innings at Fenway Park. Brooke Jacoby with a homer in that ball game. Home runs by Cal Ripken Jr. and Glenn Davis. Baltimore leading Milwaukee 3-0 there at County Stadium. Toronto plays at Detroit tonight, Oakland at California, and Minnesota, Seattle for games in the American League. In the National League, St. Louis leads Montreal 2-1 at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. New York and Pittsburgh later on, and Houston is at Atlanta. Philadelphia will play the Cubs at Wrigley later on this evening, Cincinnati at San Diego, and Los Angeles at Candlestick later on tonight.
Right here's a 5-4 Sox lead, bottom of the 7th inning. For the Yankees, it'll be Barfield, Velarde, and Guerin, the scheduled hitters. 5 runs on 10 hits. For the Sox, 4 runs on 4 hits. All 4 runs, 4 hits coming in the 3rd inning. Barfield 0 for 2. Into center field. Scott Fletcher going back. Here comes Lance. Watch out, Scotty. Yes.
Well, there's 3 guys out there that want to make every play on every ball hit in the air, and Lance didn't get a real good jump on it. It's almost that twilight time of the night. Scotty going back, keeping his eye on the ball, as you can see, but Lance is digging hard, and Fletch makes the catch. 1 out.
Randy Velarde has bounced to short, and he's popped to Fletcher. Yeah, you're so right, Wimpy. It seems like that Fletcher and Johnson and Sosa almost having their contracts. They get a big bonus for every pop-up or fly ball that they catch.
I know.
He pops it up on the
look at Scooter
right
now.
Side. 2 pitches, 2 out.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Well, there's where Scooter's got to get off. So I'm sure Sammy was making the call right here. When that outfielder calls the infielder off, get out of there. But sometimes, you know, when you're making the call yourself, you know, you just don't hear it.
Yeah. Well, big crowd here this afternoon.
Bobby Guerin popped to right and struck out. Off the plate. Took a little something off, turned it over, and the count 1-0. Boy, it just looks funny seeing Flowers on deck wearing that number 14, doesn't it? It seems like somebody, nobody should be wearing that. That's Sweet Lou.
Sweetness, yeah. I'll tell you what, Lou Piniella would find a way to hit Hibbert.
Lou Piniella, one of the smartest hitters, I'll tell you. And he got smarter as he got older, better as he got older. Of course, he's wearing 41 over there now with the world champion Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, when I used to play against Lou and playing right field, his first time up, I used to play right down the right field line, and I took a bunch of hits away from him his first at bat because I knew he was going to right field his first at bat every single time. He'd yell and scream at me.
That's popped back. Carlton giving chase. Watch out, Pudgeon. Well back on the screen in the count 1-2. Well, in those Yankee ball clubs, when they were so tough in the late 70s and early 80s, you know, the guy who was always going to beat you was one of 2 on that ball club. You know, Reggie got all the ink and everything else, but Munson was absolutely devastating in the clutch, as Piniella was. And Reggie, of course, Reggie's had some great numbers, and you can say what you want to about Reggie Jackson, but he did it.
Oh boy,
he did it. But Munson, you'd much rather face Reggie than Munson or Lou in a, you know, man on second, 2 out in a tie game.
Yeah, we needed a base hit for an RBI. Those 2 guys were just incredible.
Mr. October, though, you put in the World Series time, and he just lit his fire up, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, they've had a lot of great Yankees in October.
Once again, the 1-2 delivery. That's in the right field. Sammy. This is going to make it 13 in a row retired by Hibbert after throwing that 3-run homer to Kevin Moss in the 3rd. Nothing across after 7. Sox on top 5-4. And along with Wimpy, this is Hawk. Wimpy, what do you think, kid?
I love it. Hey, this is just the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to shank one in here at the end of the ball game.
Right.
walk off the field laughing. Hopefully that'll continue.
Now batting.
Looks like Corey Snyder is going to lead things off for the Sox.
Curry's going to be hitting for Dan Pasqua to face the southpaw Greg Cataray. Danny 0 for 3 this afternoon. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the White Sox. 4 runs, 4 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. Curry hitting at .250, no homers, 1 RBI. Off-speed pitch misses, and the count 1-0. Outfield for the most part straight away. Fastball, and the count 2-0. Munch time. Ooh, good eye by Corey. He was ready to unload right there. Checked it up, took it, and the count 3-0.
Oh, you're right. He swings at that one. He's liable to get himself out because that's definitely a pitcher's pitch. Let's see if he's swinging here.
No,
I doubt it.
No chance. Ball 4. So the leadoff man aboard. Second walk issued by Greg Cataray. And that'll bring up Sammy Sosa. Sammy's 0 for 2. He struck out twice, and he was hit by a pitch.
Well, do you bunt here with a 1-run lead? Ozzy's the next hitter. It'll be lefty against lefty.
Let's see what they're going to do. See what Stumper's going to do if he's going to try to force an action by Torborg. Dale Scott. What would you do, Wimperoo?
If I'm Jeff Torborg?
Yeah.
I let Sammy swing here. Well,
Looks like Stump's going to make a move and try to force an action. Well, I'll tell you what I'd do if he let it stay status quo right here. I would definitely let Sammy swing.
Yeah.
If he brings in a right-hander, I'd definitely have Sammy bunt. But he's going to bring in the right-hander, and then the bunt's going to happen. Then he's going to go get the left-hander for Ozzy, and we'll see what happens. 5-4, Sox on top. So the walk to Corey Snyder leading off the 8th here has been the exit avenue for Greg Cataray of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Colin Powell. And I'll tell you, he looked very, very good with his arm action and velocity. He threw out the first pitch. Then in the first inning, with 1 out, an infield single by Lance Johnson, and Robin Ventura cranked out his first homer of the season, a towering drive off Scott Sanderson that just made it over the right field fence down in the corner. The Yankees came back in the bottom of the 3rd inning with 2 out, a single by Sachs, a single by Mattingly, a single by Kelly knocking in Sachs, and then a 3-run homer on a 2-0 fastball to Kevin Moss, and that made it 4-2. But the Sox came right back. Sammy Sosa with 1 out. Ozzie Guillen, who had singled to left field on first base, and Scott Fletcher. Scotty just hammered a Sanderson fastball out of here to tie the game at 4. And then last inning, of course, the base hit. The little duck snort by Big Frank Thomas knocking in Lance Johnson, and that's the way the game stands at 5-4.
And the Yankees make a pitching change here with the runner at first base, nobody out. Rich Monteleone, 6'3", 220-pounder from Tampa, Florida. 27-year-old right-hander making his first appearance of 1991 with the Yankees, what just was recalled from Columbus. As you look at Cataray, he pitched 2 innings, gave up the 1 run, 3 hits. He walked 2 while striking out 2. He is responsible for Corey Snyder, who's at first base. So Sammy Sosa, there's his numbers at Columbus. He was outstanding, 1-0 with a 2.25 earned run average. They already played 5 games at Columbus at least. Played more than we have. It's kind of amazing as the rain starts to fall a little bit harder here at Yankee Stadium. So Monteleone spent a little bit of time with the Yankees last year. 0-1 with a 6.14 earned run average. He pitched 7 1/3 innings, walked 2. He struck out 8. So he's got a good fastball. Looks like a short armor.
He is. He's had some arm problems. I believe he was Detroit's #1 draft choice back in the early 80s. And he came in with some baggage. I mean, some big credentials. Everybody liked Monteleone, and then all of a sudden he did not do that well, hurt his arm. And since that time, he has really battled and struggled to get back to the big leagues. But here we go. Snyder at first, nobody out, and here's Sammy. Here comes Mattingly. Here come the corners. As now they're going to back off as Sammy breaks it down.
Yep, he gave away bunt. I think Monteleone, a lot of times the smart thing for the pitcher to do is to step off to see if that, in fact, that hitter is going to be bunting.
It's the best thing a guy can do. A quick step off, give your first and third baseman a good look-see.
This is a big run right here if the Sox can manufacture it. Monteleone may be in there just to pitch to Sammy Sosa with the left-hander on deck. Ozzie Guillen. That big left-hander Lee Guterman is heating up in the Yankee bullpen, and he's done a nice job for these people.
Very pleasant surprise. Lou Piniella always liked Guterman. In fact, he was about the only guy in this organization that liked Guterman, stay with him, and Guterman's done a good job for the Yankees. Short lead by Snyder. Sammy squares the bunt, takes the ball.
Well, if you're a pitcher in this situation, you want to throw the high fastball. Try and get the hitter to bunt that, pop up that bunt in the air to give your infielders a chance to catch it. You don't really want to throw an off-speed pitch and down, because that's the easiest pitch for the guy to bunt.
Well, if you're going to throw the off-speed pitch, it's got to be something hard, like your good slider, good hard curveball, something your good stuff. Flowers on the grass at third. He'll be coming. Monteleone, as the rain starts to come down very heavy once again.
He's trying to bore him into submission.
Well, I'll tell you,
jeez, this guy is slow.
Mercy. Now the fans starting to give him that Bronx cheer.
I don't blame him. Well, it's starting to come down pretty good right now.
5-4 Sox here in the top of the 8th inning. There's a bunt out in front. Guerin now had ideas, changes them, goes to first. Good sacrifice bunt. 2-4 with Snyder in the second.
Doing the little things. That's what Jeff Torborg's game plan is for, well, every game for that matter, because the Sox know they've got to win these close ball games, and the way to win it is to manufacture runs. There you see Sammy squaring around. No chance even with Guerin's gun. He's got to throw to first base, and here comes the stumper.
He's going to make the move to the big southpaw. But you know, during the first 4 games, Wimpy, I'll tell you, not enough can be said for the job that Barry Foote has done at first base. I mean, he has kept Sox runners with the good leads. We've seen Lance Johnson. We've seen right there Corey with a good lead. And that, of course, the first base responsibility of making those guys be sure they know the situation goes to the coach. And Barry has done a wonderful job. All right, a break in the action here with Corey Snyder at second, 1 out. We'll be back to tell you about Lee Guterman's numbers right after this.
235 pounds of them on the pitch for the Yanks. 33 years old, 32 years old, and he's from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He did a nice job for the Yankees last year, Hawk. 11-7 with a 3.39 earned run average in 64 games. Pitched a lot of innings, 93, giving up only 80 hits. Good control with 96 walks and 48 strikeouts. Not a power pitcher, but he cuts that fastball. Little slider, changes speeds, curve, and changeup. He's tough.
Here's Ozzie. What's Ozzie done against it?
Isn't it amazing?
It's a 5-4 Sox lead here in the 8th. Corey at second, 1 gone. Outfield swung around to the left. They're short. Off the plate, and the count 1-0.
And here it is. We dug this up. 8 for 14 career against Scooterman. Come on, Stump. How can you bring this guy in the pit store?
The only other American League hitter that has a better percentage off Gooderman is big number 33 out there in Oakland.
Jose.
Right side, Steve Sachs. Boy, it is. I'll tell you, it's raining hard now. 2 gone. And a reminder that Sunday, May 5th, well, it's Tony the Tiger Day at the New Comiskey Park. The White Sox take on Boston, and all children in attendance will receive a helmet cereal bowl, all courtesy of Kellogg. So for tickets, just dial Ticketmaster at 1-312-831-1-SOX. That's Tony the Tiger Day, May 5th at New Comiskey Park. Here's our hero. He and Robin. Scotty is 3 for 3. His first homer of the year, his 5th and 6th ribbies of the season. Just go ahead and knock him on in. Have a good day, Scooter. Oh, it's academic. Here he comes. Corey's going to score. It's a 6-4 Sox lead. Yes.
And just as important as that steal of second base last inning by Lance Johnson, enabling him to score on that blue pit by Frank Thomas, the sacrifice by Sammy Sosa, getting him into scoring position. He moved to third on the ground ball out to the right side of the infield to Ozzie. And there's a ball that Guerin should have definitely played.
He just screwed that one up.
Yeah, he did. Watch it. He got his glove just screwed up. He should have his hand underneath. He put it over and couldn't react. Get it back under him.
Fastball strike and the count 1-1.
It should be a pass ball.
Up high, 2 balls and a strike. Fletcher, that solid single up the middle in the 2nd. Just a bullet for a home run off Sanderson in the 4th. Solid single to right in the 7th. He's on top 3-1.
Turn it loose, Scooter.
He's looking good up there.
He does.
He looks very good.
Yeah, yeah, real good. He's taking all those pitches really nicely. Everything is back.
That's in the hole. Velarde, he's got a good arm. Not in time. Base hit, 4 for 4. Thank you.
All right. Scooter was legging it down there. I bet he felt like he had concrete in his pants, because it's tough getting out of the batter's box right now. The conditions are not good. And Velarde made an outstanding play right here. Put something on it, and Scooter just in there. Look at him. He's digging. He's digging. He's falling. He's safe.
He's a piece of work, isn't he? 4 for 4 for Scotty Fletcher. Here's Raines. 0 for 3. Base on balls. Hit the ball hard twice. Blocked nicely by Guerin, and the count 1-0. Baltimore still leading Milwaukee at County Stadium 3-1 in the 6th inning. Glenn Davis, his first American League homer. And Cal Ripken. Well, that's his 3rd in 2 days. He had 7 ribbies. Orioles can swing the bat. They can hit. Jeff Torborg, Sammy Ellis.
You look at that Milwaukee pitching staff, it's pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, mediocre pitchers will be eaten up by that Baltimore lineup.
Off the end of the bat, Raines a little too quick right there. Velarde in time. That'll retire the side, but the Sox come up with an insurance tally on a hit. No errors, a man left after 7.5. There it is.
A participating advertiser in White Sox baseball is Southwest Airlines.
That's the story. Bottom of the 8th inning. 6-11-0 for the Sox, 4-4-0 for the Pinstripers. And a reminder that Milk Duds and Jolly Rancher candies offer kids the chance to become a celebrity bad boy or girl. Now, winners receive great prizes and the chance to go on the field at Comiskey Park to meet White Sox players. So look for details wherever Milk Duds and Jolly Rancher candies are sold. Little Bulldog Greg Hibbard, except for the 3rd inning, he has just been outstanding. He's retired the last 13 in a row. Now, he got the side in order in the 1st. He walked the leadoff hitter Kevin Moss in the 2nd. Then got Mullins, Barfield, and Velarde. Then in the 3rd inning, he retired Guerin, struck out Espinoza. And with 2 outs, Sachs singled, Mattingly singled, Kelly singled in Sachs to make it a 2-1 ball game. Then Kevin Moss hit the 3-run homer on a 2-0 fastball. Since that time, he has been perfect, just setting them right down on their fannies.
Yeah, and that shows you the character of Greg Hibbert, too, because a lot of guys would have gotten their dauber down. He had a 2-run lead, kind of blew it for a little bit, gives up 4 big runs, and heck, a lot of times the world just caves in on certain individuals if they're not strong, if they're not mentally tough. But Hibbert, obviously, the great competitor that he is, he wouldn't be the little bulldog for nothing.
If he was a wimp, he wouldn't, right?
That's right. So he went out there and just battled these guys, the elements, every other thing you can think of, and stands to go 2-0 if the Sox can just hold on here, get 6 more outs, and that's tough. And of course, Scotty Fletcher with the big hit of this game, though, Hawk, because the momentum really shifted over to the Yankee side in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. But then the Scub Yang, or Scooter Boy, came through with that big 2-run homer, and that just set everything back towards the White Sox. And 2 more runs, we've got the lead.
It'll be Blowers in the top of the order, Sachs and Mattingly.
3rd baseman.
Rain has eased up just a bit, just a steady, heavy drizzle. So here's Blowers. He's been to the plate once. He bounced out to Ozzie. Outfield swung around to the left. Ventura stepped behind the bag at 3rd. Big Frank in a couple of steps at 1st. Tomorrow it'll be Melito Perez against Dave Island. Melito making his debut in '91. That pitch tails away in the count 2-0. And in the finale of this 3-game set on Wednesday, it'll be Alex Fernandez against Chuck Carey. And the Sox, of course, the home opener on Thursday against the Tigers. Three balls, no strikes. Gotta cinch it up and come back right here, Bibby. There's one. Once again, our triumvirate, the Pope, Rad, and Thiggy.
3 guys swing off 2 mounds. Uh-oh.
That's ball 4. Here comes Torborg. Second walk issued by Hibbert.
2nd baseman, Steve Sachs.
Jeff will probably make a move right here. As Hibbert, you see, has shown he's made the sign. He will indeed make a change. Hibbert with 101 pitches this afternoon, and another gutsy performance. Outside, as we mentioned, the 3rd inning. Just a terrific outing for the 26-year-old southpaw. As now the rain starting to come just a shade harder. And here come the grounds crew with some more of that compound as he receives congratulations from his teammates. And indeed it will be the Pope, Wimpy.
Don Paul's going to come out to work for the Sox. This will be his first appearance of the year. We said if there's a problem area for the Sox, it's that the relievers just haven't had a chance to get any work outside of Bobby Thigpen. But Don Paul will come out in relief of Hibbert, and his job is to try and protect that 2-run lead that the Sox have accumulated.
His job is to get sacked so that Torborg can go back out there and get Radinsky for Mattingly and Kelly. And then Moss.
It's true, they're lining up those tough left-handed hitters, and the Radinsky with that good fastball, very capable of dealing with those guys. Let's see the numbers on Don Paul for last year. He was 3-5 with a 3.32 earned run average in 56 appearances. Had a lot of work in 76 innings, gave up only 63 hits, walking 24 while striking out 39. He has great command of that split finger fastball. That's the pitch that got him to the big leagues, and the pitch he'll use almost exclusively in this situation. Also will throw a regulation fastball, cut it a bit, and the slider. But the split finger is his baby. And when he is healthy, as he is right now, he's got a nasty one. He's got a tough task, though. We got the good part of the order coming up here. The guys that are really dangerous: Sachs, Mattingly, Kelly, and Moss. Those first 4 guys are very tough to deal with. But the Pope can do it.
Grounds crew continues to work feverishly on that infield, trying to. Boy, this has been a very steady, heavy mist all afternoon long. While we have a moment, a reminder that on Friday, May 3rd at 7:05, the Sox begin their series against the Boston Red Sox. First 20,000 fans will receive a collector edition pin with the Old English Sox logo, courtesy of Scott Peterson. So for tickets, just dial 312-831-1-SOX. Some of Scooter's fan club, I'll tell you, it still mystifies me why that man is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So here we go. Sox lead at 6-4, nobody out. Mike Blowers on first, and here's the top of the order. Steve Sachs. Sachs has bounced to second. Started off that 4-run third with 2 out, a solid single to left, and he's flied to left. Ventura cut of the grass at third, outfield, swung a bit around to the right. Sox looking for a pair with Mattingly on deck. Here come the Pope. Strike. Yes.
Ooh, boy, he nailed the outside corner right at the knees there. Sachs looked like he was taking all the way.
Bowers just a very stationary short lead. That's inside, and the count evens at 1. Time is called. Sox trying to make it 5 in a row this year. Also trying to make it the last 5 in a row here at Yankee Stadium. Right side. Scotty got a chance. Yes. Grass really. The Wayne slowed it up, or that's a base hit.
Oh, it sure was. Good play by Fletcher, too. His wheels have got to be spinning out there. Sachs looked like he hit the ball hard with that wet grass, and then it hits the mud part of it, and Scotty dives to his left because he's playing up the middle in double play depth. You see getting to his feet quickly and throwing out Sachs. So Don Paul does the job. Keeps that tying run off base, and that's a key right here as we've got 1 out in the 8th inning.
So a good job by Pope. Change in pitchers here at Yankee Stadium. Check that bottom of the 8th inning, and we'll be back to give you some information on Scott Radinsky right after this.
Don Mattingly. Last year he's 6-1 with a 4.82 earned run average in 62 appearances. He had 4 saves. He walked 36 while striking out 46 and 52 in the 3rd innings. Big problem area for Rad last year was his control.
That was only towards the end of the season, though, when the biggest part of those ERA, when the hits and runs came later on in the year.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see just how he rebounded so terrifically this spring.
Yeah.
He was just outstanding. But right here, he's got his work cut out for him. He's got a healthy Don Mattingly at the plate. Mattingly 1 for 3. Hit the ball hard twice today. Sox lead at 6-4. 1 out. Blowers at second. There's a strike and a count, 0-1. There you can see what he did this spring. 11 appearances, 277 ERA with 3 saves.
Yeah, his first few outings, I think the first 10 outings, as a matter of fact, he was unscored upon. Oh,
Breaking
yeah.
ball, strike over the outside part of the plate. Mattingly didn't particularly care for it. Meanwhile, 0-2.
Mattingly hasn't struck out in, what, 120 some odd plate appearances. He's on the ropes right here. Let's get him.
He usually, as you just mentioned, he'll put it in play.
Yeah.
Outfield deep like they should be as he goes down high. Gas up out of the strike zone.
Wow. Well, the key right there is he threw 2 strikes. Nasty pitches. Fastball away and a good hook. Set this sequence up. Set this pitch up right here. Fastball just out of the zone. Boy, that thing just exploded off. Wow.
Just exploded up there on Mattingly.
Woo.
After you see that little slow curveball he flipped up there for strike 2, and you see that one. Mercy.
Well, here comes Jeff.
I'll tell you what. That's unusual. That ball, you don't see Mattingly react that way unless that ball does a little something funny coming up there.
Well, just.
So here comes the Thigmeister with Roberto Kelly. Good job by Don Paul to retire Steve Sachs on an excellent split finger, and a good job of hitting by Sachs as he hit that ball hard to the right side. The wet infield slowed it up, enabling Fletcher to make the play. And I'll tell you, Mattingly's going to have to file that at bat right there against Radinsky. He's going to have to do some research.
You know, the funny thing about that at bat too, Hawk, is that Radinsky has no idea who he just struck out.
You're right. That's the great part about Rad, isn't it?
That's right. Now, if Mattingly was a rock star or something, he'd probably have a pretty good clue. As you look at Bobby Thigpen coming on in from the bullpen, Thiggy off to another good start.
Well, Jeff made an interesting comment too yesterday as we were discussing while we were waiting for the plane to come in after the rain out in Tiger Stadium, and it's so true. You know, Jeff, a lot of people sitting home watching this game now are going to say, boy, he's managing this thing like the 7th game of the World Series. Well, you're damn right he is. He's going to do that because of the fact when you get a club like the Sox who are going to be contending this year, and all of a sudden you get Oakland, you get California, you get Kansas City, teams like that, you know, you cannot win a divisional title early on, but there's a good chance you could lose one. So he's going to play this thing right up front from day one, just like you would in September.
That's right. He's got supreme confidence in all of his pitchers and all his players on his team, for that matter. And when the stage is set to bring in Bobby Thigpen, he is going to do that. He wants an inning and a third out of Bobby. Take a look at Bobby's numbers. No record, no earned run average in 2 games. He's picked up 2 saves, and he's well rested. So bring in that stud reliever, so then you can't be second guessed either when you get to that point of the ball game. He has pitched 2 2/3 innings. Bobby has. He has walked 1, striking out 3, and nobody has gotten a hit off him yet. So Bobby Thigpen in relief, and Radinsky, you are so right, Hawk. That ball of his just jumped in there, exploded. Can't see anybody getting on top of that high fastball he just threw Mattingly.
Well, once again, we're taking a shared feed this afternoon. We do not have our own Skip Ellison down there, but I'll tell you, that if we had it, you could see that ball get about 5 or 6 feet from home plate and look like somebody kicked it right in the butt.
He's got that easy delivery, too, and the ball just jumps at you. It really surprises the hitter.
So here's Roberto Kelly. Bobby 1 for 3, had an RBI single in the 3rd inning. He's leading this club with 7 ribbies. Down low in the count, 1-0. Kevin Moss on deck, so obviously, indubitably, and without question, this is the guy that Thiggy wants. Right, Wimpy?
Yep. You hit it right on the nose there, kid.
Gas up high, and he's down in the count 2-0. Six 11-0 for the White Sox, 4-4-0 for the Pinstripes. That's hit deep into right field. Sammy has the bead. Yes. Thank you very much. That'll retire the side. Nothing across. There were no hits, no errors, a man left after 8. Sox lead at 6-4. That's the story. Top of the 9th inning for the Sox. It'll be Johnson, Ventura, and then Big Frank Thomas as 6'8" southpaw Lee Guterman takes his tosses. Wimpy, we were just discussing in the break there. Roberto Kelly with a 2-0 count. You're down 2 runs, bottom of the 8th inning. And he goes that way with that pitch. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the truth. On 2-0, especially, well, in that situation, you got to look for something from the middle of the plate in, something that you can drive, pull, hit out of the ballpark and tie this thing up. He did a nice job of hitting the ball the opposite way, but it wasn't going to go out of the ballpark. It wasn't going to tie things up, and as a result, it was the 3rd out of the inning, and Sox are happy.
Well, as George Carlin would say, you said it. Nice job. Nice job of hitting the ball. Here's Lance. Lance 2 for 4 this afternoon, but he has scored 2 runs. Started off that rally back in the 7th with 2 out to put the Sox on top 5-4. Blowers in on the grass at 3rd. Outfield swung around to the left. Kelly very deep for Lance Johnson in center. Mattingly halfway at 1st. Fastball high in the count 1-0. Grass knocks this one down for Randy Velarde. Ooh, very
wow, look at Lance hustle. Woo. Man, you got to come up throwing on Lance Johnson. He is just flying down that line.
So you give it that Sir nonchalant, you're going to have to eat it.
Yeah, Velarde did a good job right here. It's about as quick as you can do it. Ball obviously wet. It's going to be squirting out of your hand. A good pick there by Don Mattingly at first base also.
Here's Robin. Got the Sox on the board. 2-run homer in the 1st inning. Breaking ball strike. He also singled very sharply to center in the 3rd. Flied to left in the 5th, and he walked in the 7th. So he has been one of our heroes today.
Your pick to click. You did a nice job picking.
You did the other day in Detroit. When
yeah,
you picked Carco.
Carco, yeah. So we're even.
You're going to have to start having
tomorrow.
a little running tally on this thing
Yeah.
for golf balls.
Yeah.
Mattingly, easy play. Duderman, 2 gone. In case you're looking to the Yankee 9th, Kevin Moss, Bam Bam Mullins, and Jesse Barfield. That's a little thump.
Yeah, but I like seeing Moss lead off that 9th inning.
That's right.
Ooh, Lordy.
The first baseman.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that pitch that Kelly swung at was even in the zone. They may have been a little high.
Tell you the truth, I thought he might be taking that. And you get Moss on deck, you know, and down 2 runs. But here's Big Frank. Knocked in his 3rd run of the season. That was a go-ahead run back in the 7th inning. Up high.
Now let's see if that old theory of ours holds true. You get a cheap hit, get yourself an RBI, then the next time up you hit a rocket. get yourself going on a good hot streak. Well,
there's a broken bat single. Another little duck snort by Big Frank. He'll take it. Boy, they don't put pictures on scorecards.
boy, they don't. Big Frank's going to wind up with 2 for 5 with an RBI, and he's
only good hitters can do that. See, I never got any cheap hits because I was not a good hitter.
Oh yeah,
now you got some cheap hits because you were a good
they
hitter.
were all cheap hits. I mean, Frank is so strong, he just fights the ball off the over the infield. That time it looked like he hit it off the end of the bat.
Yeah, Big Frank a little stronger than you and I were.
Yeah.
Here's Pudgley. He's 1 for 4, but he's scalded a couple. Well, he scalded that first inning double of Scott Sanderson. Out in front, this could be trouble. They're going to have to. Guterman. That should be a base hit.
Yep. Yeah, you couldn't roll that ball down there any better than that. Carlton Fisk gets a little cheapie right there, but he'll take it gladly.
Boy, this is got a chance for a big inning for us. 2 are out, and here they come.
Here they come. A shank off the end of the bat. And Guterman picks up the wet ball.
Designated hitter, Corey Snyder.
And Corey Snyder's going to have a chance to drive somebody in, but I don't think it's going to be against Guterman. Why do they call this guy Stump?
I tell you, I don't know. I've never been in the shower with him.
See? He's tall.
Stump's a good man. Stump's good baseball man. But I'll tell you, he's going to be making a whole bunch of trips out there this year. Yankees still looking for some pitching help. Of course, they expect Pascual Perez and Mike Witt to come back, and if they do, I was talking with the general manager Gene Michael prior to the game, and he said he was really optimistic about Perez and Witt's chances of getting back in there and doing a good job.
I wouldn't doubt that. You know, Pascual Perez last year before he got hurt was throwing the ball extremely well.
Oh, he got
was
good
pitching.
stuff.
Oh. And Witt, we've seen him for years with California.
Here's Corey, drew a walk and scored a run. That was last inning, leading off pinch hitting for Dan Pascual.
Well, we caught a break in Baltimore. We didn't see Big Ben McDonald because he was hurt. Possible another break here with those guys that we just talked about on the disabled list.
Outfield spread out. Gas. And the count 1-1. All those little things, those are some of the nuances of having a good year. Miss a guy here, miss him maybe twice. Talking about Ben McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Ball and 2 strikes. Off the plate. You know, if you're going to beat the Rooster out there in California, and you're going to beat La Russa out there in Oakland, you got to have some of those little intangibles and nuances that come along with that.
Luck, I think, is another word for that.
2-2.
Ooh. Yeah, that's true. It's going to be a very competitive race in that American League West. Some teams that are definitely improved over last year. California, Kansas City. Oakland's going to be just as good. Interesting race.
Corey hanging tough. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Sox lead it by 2, 6-4. Well, while Guerin's out there, I'll tell you, in '67 we had to beat Minnesota the last 2 games of the season to win the pennant. When I was with Boston, Jim Cott starts the Saturday game, and in the first inning hurt his arm, and he had great stuff that day.
Yeah.
Hurt his arm. We win that ball game. So again, there was a, one of those things.
Yeah.
And then we beat Dean Chance on Sunday to win the pennant. If Cott doesn't hurt his arm, it might be a different story. Once again, the 2-2 delivery. Right there. Good pitch by Goodeman. That'll ring up Curry and do it for the Sox. Nothing across. A couple of 2-out hits. No errors. 2 men left. And they'll go to the bottom of the ninth, leading the Bronx Bombers 6-4.
Pummel this guy.
It's the bottom of the ninth inning. Bobby Thigpen on the hill for the Sox. The Sox lead at 6-4. 6-13-0 for the good guys. 4-4-0 for the Yankees. Yankees coming up with all 4 of their runs and all 4 of their hits back in the 3rd inning. For the Bronx Bombers here in the 9th, it'll be Kevin Moss, Bam Bam Mullins, and Jesse Barfield. One final, in case you did not hear, in the American League this afternoon, in 13 innings at Fenway Park in Boston, Brooke Jacoby's first homer of the year, and they beat the Bo Sox 1-0. Hello.
Boston's lost every game that Roger Clemens hasn't started this year.
That's a good way to put it, too. I'll tell you, there's just no bigger fan of Roger Clemens than me. I think he is just, I love his tenacity out there. Now, besides his ability.
Yeah.
He is a staunch gamer. He got some gonads.
Oh, boy.
Designated hitter, Kevin Moss.
So here we go. Kevin Moss will lead it off. He has walked, hit a 3-run homer, and struck out.
Now let's see how Thiggy approaches Moss leading off an inning. We saw Greg Hibbert. They really didn't like that matchup from a White Sox standpoint. The Hibbert versus Moss, because you take away his best pitch. He did strike him out on the changeup. Let's see if Bobby Thigpen comes inside and up on Moss in this at bat.
Bobby just going to try to get a hit. Here comes the slide ball. Tried to backdoor and missed. There you see the Orioles home runs by Glenn Davis and Cal Ripken lead at 3-1 County Stadium in the 6th. 4-4 tie. Cardinals and the Expos. Moss out in front of the Heat and the count 1-1.
It's a weird swing, wasn't it?
He just sitting dead red and got out there a little quick. In fact, he can get out there very quick.
Yeah.
Outfield swung well around to the right. They don't have the big shift on yet. Ozzie playing almost behind Thigpen. And the 1-1 delivery. Yes. 1-2 the count. Matt Noakes has come out on deck to hit for Hensley Mullins. Another pretty good fastball hitter.
Oh, yeah. He's right on top of the plate, too.
Fisk wanted it. Thought it was close. Dale Scott didn't give it to him.
The old backdoor slider trick with 2 strikes. Fastball away.
Full count.
You gotta want to get Moss to hit the ball. You certainly don't want to walk. And we got a walk.
First walk issued by Thigpen. Third walk issued by Sox pitching this afternoon. So here comes Matt Noakes.
Boy, he's been doing some hitting.
He's 8 for 19, a homer, and 4 ribbies. And as we mentioned, he can turn a 30-30 around.
Yeah, he's already got 4 doubles on the season too. So his slugging percentage, .789.
Big Frank playing behind Moss at first.
Noakes. He was a great looking hitter coming up with the Tiger organization. Came over here on a trade. Lance McCullers was involved in that trade. We talked about him earlier. Circulatory problem in his arm. He has not pitched this year for Detroit.
0-2 the count to Noakes. Six runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Sox. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Yankees. Ball and 2 strikes. I'm going to try to backdoor him with that slider. Don't miss inside. Ooh, got away with it as Carlton's going to give chase. That'll be back on the screen. Oh, mercy. Wimpy.
Yeah, that was a hanger right there. There's a guy that's got some power. Boy, at Detroit in 1987, obviously his rookie year. Noakes hit 32 homers, 87 RBIs, catching, hitting .289, and those are some good numbers.
Look at this hanger.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was such a bad pitch, he couldn't hit it. A little lower, a little better pitch, he might have hit it 9 miles.
The 1-2 pitch. Broken bat. That'll be out of play. Sounded like a broken bat. Count remains 1-2. That sounded like that bat shattered.
It sure did.
Splat.
New wood. Noakes is right on that plate.
Out in front. Pull a string on him. And the count remains 1-2. Jesse Barfield, the on-deck hitter.
Come on, Matt. Try and pull this sinker down and away. 3-hopper to Scotty, to Ozzie.
Yes. Chases a bad pitch, and that's out number 1.
Right fielder, Jesse Barfield.
He got him. This ball looked like it's tailing away from Noakes. I think he had some good gas on that one. Up, up, and away, and there's 1 out for Barfield.
Mel Hall has come out on deck to hit for Velarde. Go ahead and get a pair right here.
Yeah.
Hall's been swinging the heck out of the bat all spring long.
They had a pinch hit double yesterday. Drove in a couple runs, yeah.
Heat up and in, and the count 1-0. Barfield has bounced out in front of home plate. Fist to Thomas. He's bounced to third, and he's popped to second. There's Hall. Outfield deep, swung around to the left. Yes, and the count 1-1. Just off the plate. I'm trying to frame it a little bit, and the count 2 balls and a strike. Oh, what a big pitch that was for Biggie.
Yeah.
Big strike zone that Barfield has. It is just an immeasurable difference between 1-2 and 2-1.
Ooh.
Where was that one? Slider.
Take a look at the last slider.
Oh, that's close there.
That is real close right there.
Two marginal pitches that Dale Scott has not given the Sox. All just 1 for 11 on the season, but they tell us he's got 4 ribbies. They tell us that he could have had a whole bunch of hits. He has been very, very dangerous. That's why so many times numbers are so misleading.
Yeah. Well, in his last at bat, I saw it yesterday on TV when we got into town. He nailed Montgomery at Royal Stadium yesterday in Kansas City for a bases loaded double.
So the winning run in the person of Mel Hall. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 6-4 Sox lead. On the outside corner of Beauty, and the count 0-1. Two walks here in the bottom of the 9th. Have number 37 in trouble. Ground ball, Ozzie. Over to Scooter, that's all. And that's out number 2.
Yep, no chance. That grass just slowed that ball up almost to a standstill, almost to a stop before it got to Ozzie. And they made sure of 1. And that was real big right there. So this is the guy we've been waiting for all night, or all day. And it looks like
Scott Lusader.
Yeah, Lusader.
Yankees picked him up from the Tigers. Lusader 1 for 3. But that's again not the story. He has hurt the Sox. Last year he looked like King Kong up at that plate.
Number 17, Scott Lusader.
Well, he's one of those pesky hitters, and certainly not one of those guys that's going to drive the ball out of the ballpark, but he's capable.
He took us in the upper deck last year.
Yes, he did. That's right. At Tiger Stadium. You're right. And he will make contact. So, 1st and 3rd, 2 out.
Big Frank holding Hall on. Short lead at 1st. Moss at 3rd. Where was it? Come on.
Right there.
Fisk conversing with home plate umpire Dale Scott. Fastball on the count 2-0 with Mike Blowers on deck. Fastball strike and the count 2-1. You get the feeling that Scott has really squeezed Thigpen here in the 9th. That'll even it up at 2. Good fastball by Figgy.
Yeah, that was down, running away from him. So
Another close call, and the count goes full.
Hall will be in motion at first base, and that can be important now if a ball is hitting a hole.
There's a shot into right field. That's going to fall for a base hit as Sammy gets to it. Hall on his way to third. Here's a throw. They got a shot. Cut off. And it's a 6-5 ball game.
And that is the first hit the Yankees have gotten off the Sox pitcher since the third inning. He didn't hit it hard, but just good enough over the infield in front of Sammy Sosa. Take a look at the 3-2 pitch. Good enough. Sammy coming on, and Ozzie cutting it, trying to. Well, Hall hesitated.
Oh, they had a definite shot at him at third
sure
base.
did. Yeah.
Looked like a good throw by Sammy. Boy, I'll tell you. Meanwhile, teacup time with Dale Scott behind the plate. That's the story. 2 out, runners at the corners.
This is Leyritz going to hit for
Flowers.
Flowers, yeah.
Leyritz, good fastball hitter, very aggressive young hitter. 1 for 7 on the season. Scott Lucero looks like an all-star against the White Sox. Two 2-0 the count with Steve Sachs on deck. Three walks by Bobby Thigpen here in the bottom of the 9th inning. To go along with a single by Lucero. That'll load him up. And the tough out. 31-year-old veteran second baseman Steve Sachs, the hitter, as you look at Brian Draymond and Ken Patterson down in the Sox pen. Strike.
Whoa. I'm glad Saxey didn't have a notion to swing at that one.
Man.
That was right down Broadway.
Wild as he's been, you got to look first ball fastball.
Oh, absolutely.
Get after it.
Yeah. You can't rely on walking right here. Now Bobby has the advantage.
0-2 the count.
Thank you. Yeah, you're right. You got to get after that first pitch fastball if it's in that area where you like it. Man, you got a chance to win the game with one swing. Sachs is still tough, though.
There's a tying run, Mel Hall. There's the winning run, Scott Lucero at second. He doesn't mean anything. Just hopefully on a force play.
Yeah.
Yes! Good breaking ball by Bobby Thigpen, strikes out Steve Sachs, and the Sox make it 5 in a row to start off the 91 season. They win it 6-5. Wimpy and I will be back to wrap it up right after this.
That was worth it.